Jim.
Alley-oop for Carter. Oh, my goodness. Barnes, long shot. Good.
Oh, my.
It's a three-pointer.
Carolina wins it. The Tar Heels win it.
The following is a presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Things are going well for Carolina basketball. The Tar Heels have won 6 in a row, including that 36-point dismantling of Syracuse on Saturday afternoon. The Heels are ranked in the nation's top 5. The latest in the season, Carolina has been ranked that highly since 2019. So now, the Tar Heels try to sustain it. Hubert Davis has told his team he wants it to stay hungry, to stay starving for success, for more quality play, and ultimately, more victories. Carolina will try and keep that hunger tonight against Louisville in the Smith Center. The Tar Heel Sports Network's coverage of the 27th meeting between Louisville and Carolina starts right now.
15 on the shot clock. Tries to lob to Trimble. He climbs the ladder and throws it down. Cadeau puts his defender in the spin cycle and lays it up and over his head for 2. Ingram between the circles to R.J. Davis for 3. Knocked it home from the right wing. If you need a bucket, who else? Well, I thought he was going to slow it up to Trimble. Back to Baycott. Slow that up, baby. Two-handed dunk. Crossover, step back. That's an impossible shot. How'd he do it? Oh, drives it, bounce past the Withers, way up in the air for the flush. One-handed push pass, to Baycott. He's going to try a corner. 3! Count it! Davis, long pass to Trimble in the corner. He'll try a triple. Why not? Everybody's knocking him home. Back to Davis. His 3 at the horn. Count it! Davis swishes it home at the buzzer.
The Tar Heels Sports Network is on the air with Carolina basketball.
This is Dave Nathan. Carolina is the hottest team in the ACC and will try to keep it that way tonight against Louisville. Jones Ains will have the call of this evening's contest.
You know, Dave, Louisville has shown signs of life here recently after a difficult, year and a half. But Cardinals still sit just 6-10 overall. The Heels hope to continue the Cardinals' difficulties for at least one more game tonight in the Smith Center. Joining us tonight, Tyler Hansbrough, Carolina's all-time leading scorer, a 2009 national champion. That number 50's retired up in the rafters of the Smith Center.
Glad to be here with you guys tonight. A big key for me for this game is, can Carolina keep it up defensively? Louisville has been shooting it well as of lately. Can Carolina stop that?
We've got all those storylines on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Plus, Jeff Collins discusses his new gig as the Heels defensive coordinator. We'll bring you an interview with head coach Hubert Davis and comments from Kenny Payne, Tyler Hansbrough, and possibly Adam Lucas. Answer your questions about the Tar Heels, and we'll check on scores from around the country, too. All of that and more is coming up as we count you down to tip-off between the Tar Heels and Cardinals from the Smith Center in Chapel Hill. This is Carolina basketball from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball on the Tar Heels Sports Network, and you're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina basketball is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
After winning 3 defensive slugfests on the road to begin this month, the Heels offense exploded for 103 points against the Syracuse Orange on Saturday to improve to 13-3 overall and 5-0 in the ACC. Hubert Davis's team has won 6 consecutive games, worked its way into the top 5 of this week's rankings. And Jones, now we get a chance to see how this group can handle success.
Yeah, it's a great point, Dave, and I have heard just Coach Davis in practice, I'm using that word. He says, let's stay starving, let's stay hungry. So I do think that he and this staff is aware that maybe their role has changed and what you're trying to get Carolina to do right now, because the Tar Heels certainly have played very well here over the last little stretch. And, I mean, gracious, it's going to be hard to play a whole lot better than the Tar Heels did on Saturday. Shot nearly 50% from the floor, shot well at the free throw line, 58-32 advantage in the paint, 22-6 advantage second chance points, 20-9 fast break, 39-19 bench. It was a complete victory. And Tyler Hansbrough, excited to have Tyler here with us. Tyler, you were on a lot of great Tar Heel teams, and so now the question is, can Carolina sustain this high level of play? They've gotten to that point. Now they want to continue to build off of it and not relax. How challenging is that?
Well, Coach Davis is right. I think this team has to stay hungry. They can't get complacent. They can't buy into what everybody is saying about them right now, because they are getting a lot of national attention. But what you saw over the weekend was peak performance. You saw what this team could do. And for me, does this team continue to play defense the way they've been playing? And that's going to kind of dictate their success. And historically, when I look at this game tonight, I would classify this as a potential trap game. You're at home. You've had some success. Some people are starting to hype you up. Louisville's not having the year that they historically have had. Can you maintain that, sustain that against an opponent that isn't quite having that type of year and still come out and bring it?
Yeah, and Dave, I think too, the good part is about this group, we haven't really seen any signs of them taking a game off, a play off. I think it's been one of their strengths, has been that consistent level of effort. And some of that is with the veteran nature of the team. Some of that is success begets success. And so we haven't seen anything like that from this group. I think it would be unusual if you saw that tonight, but certainly worth keeping an eye on from the Tar Heels.
So Carolina's been tough to beat. Louisville has fallen on tough times, and Hubert Davis, as head coach, has won all three matchups as Carolina's head coach over the Cardinals. In total, the Tar Heels have won 4 in a row over Louisville. And the interesting little subplot about this game is it gives Jalen Withers a chance to face off against the school where his career began all the way back in 2019.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how college athletics has changed so dramatically here in the last couple of seasons? And you have Cormac Ryan, who played against Carolina multiple times for Notre Dame. He'll see his former team later in the season. You have Jalen Withers, who played well for Louisville against Carolina. Last year had 8 points and 8 rebounds. A couple years ago here in the Smith Center, he had double figures, 7 rebounds in a close game against the Tar Heels. And so just the way that college basketball is now is that you can have some unusual circumstances like this. And Tyler, I think one of the impressive things about Cormac Ryan, about Harrison Ingram, about Jalen Withers is that they have been able to relatively quickly, I think maybe it took Withers a little longer than Ingram and Ryan, but they have relatively quickly been able to transition to a new staff, a new team, a new style of play, new teammates, a new college experience in Chapel Hill compared to wherever they came from. That isn't just plug and play, and I think all those guys have done a pretty good job.
Definitely, and I think when you talk about Jalen Withers, it's important to keep in mind that he's much younger than Cormac and Harrison. And the one thing, when I look across the college basketball landscape, old wins. And I think, in my opinion, when you have veteran players, especially you saw this with Brady Manick, what he meant for that team. But Harrison Ingram, to me, is a more veteran player. Cormac Ryan is a more veteran player. And those guys have instantly come in and had a huge impact. And it's something that a lot of people don't talk about in college basketball is spirit. They came in, they had great spirit. Cormac comes out there, you see him defensively, and you see him talking to the guys. And it's been great for this team. And I think it's really helped excel Armando and RJ's style of play, the way they've come in, and just the energy that they have brought. It's been great for this team. And also Jalen Withers, he has tremendous potential. He has great athleticism. He has great size. It's just a matter of time before he really develops into a lot of, and does a lot of things that we see the glimpses, and I think he's going to be a heck of a player later on down the road at some point.
And Dave, I do think that Jalen, talking about Jay Witt, I do think that he's starting to get comfortable with what Carolina needs him to do this year, and that's defend, that's rebound, That's you show off that athleticism, get a transition bucket, get to the free throw line. He's a good free throw shooter. Those type of things. That Carolina doesn't need him to go one-on-one and drive into the paint and try to make something happen. If he can give them, the 10.6 rebounds that he had last game against Syracuse, that may be on the high end of what they need right now, but that kind of things or those kinds of things off the bench, that's what Carolina would love from Jalen Withers right now and how he can be effective.
Closing thought on the Tar Heels and to what both you guys have said about integrating all these new players in a short amount of time. A lot of people, when they think about playing well together, they only think about it on the offensive end. But this is a team that has learned to play really well together defensively as well. And Carolina's three-point defense is on track right now to be the best it's ever been in Chapel Hill.
I would defer to Tyler on this one. How does that come together? Because I do think Dave's right. When you think of playing together, I think a lot of people think ball movement and cuts and what you do offensively. How can that time together on the court, how can that start to improve your defense?
Well, when I look at the season, I think defensively this team started to drastically improve is after the UConn game.
Yeah.
I think after the UConn game, this team made a commitment to improve defensively. And I think if this team continues to play defense the way they have been, they can play with any team in the country. And in particular, one guy that's coming in off the bench and is providing huge minutes and is doing things great defensively, that's Seth Trimble. Now, there's been games where he hasn't had the best scoring night, but we don't need bench players to come in and try to light it up. And that's what you're talking about with Jalen Withers, is he can come out there and guard anybody, any position. Seth Trimble's defensively brought a lot for this team, and I think he's provided a big lift for this team. But also their rotations defensively, they're not giving a lot of guys open looks, and their communication is much better.
And just some numbers to back up what Tyler's talking about, Dave. This does not include the Kentucky game, but from the Oklahoma game until now, last 6 opponents shooting just under 34%, just 21.5% from 3, and only averaging 60 points per game. So those stats backing up that quality defense that we've seen from Carolina here over the last month or so.
Easy to see how the Tar Heels have rattled off 6 consecutive wins and will go for a 7th straight tonight against the Louisville Cardinals, who are in town, and will shine the spotlight on the visitors. That's Louisville next from Learfield. Tar Heel fans, Food Line is the proud sponsor of the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in tonight's game, Food Line Feeds will donate 100 meals to feed our neighbors in need right here in the Triangle. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show as Louisville comes to town to face the Tar Heels at 6-10 overall and just 1-4 in the ACC. Fellas, for a place that fancies itself as one of college basketball's most tradition-laden programs, the Cardinals have been in an extended tailspin. A year ago, finishing 4-28, the worst record in school history. Things a little better this year, but still a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, Dave, and I do think that there has been some improvement. Now, is Louisville a program that expects to be 6-10 and 1-4 in the ACC and have people go, you were close against NC State, great job? No, that's obviously not Louisville basketball. But I'm going to tell you, they were bad last year. 4-28. They did not win a road game. They had 19 of those 28 losses were by double figures. 9 of them were by 20 or more. They were last, 15th in the ACC in 8 major statistical categories a year ago. They were bad. This year, again, they are not a top 3rd team in the ACC right now. I do think they've made some progress. And, Tyler, we've certainly seen it here over the last couple of games with them going on the road, beating Miami in Coral Gables last week, competitive with NC State. It was a one-possession game in the final minute this past weekend. Again, is that ultimately the Louisville program or where it wants to be? Obviously not. But I do think this team is taking some steps in the right direction.
Yeah, I think this team is capable of beating any team in the conference. I don't think consistently they can do that. And I know there's a lot of questions surrounding Louisville, and this isn't the traditional teams that they put on the court. Now, that doesn't mean that you can have a letdown and expect to beat Louisville. And I think still this is why I would say it's kind of a trap game, is because I think Louisville has some talent that hasn't played to their potential, and I think they're capable of having a good night, and they can beat somebody on any given night. Now, they haven't had the season that they want or traditionally that they've had, but they are capable and they can win games.
And to that point, Dave, so that win in Coral Gables last week, 26 points from Mike James. He made 5 3-pointers, in that game. You had their big guy, the Tennessee transfer, Brandon Hundley-Hatfield. He had 22 points and 9 rebounds in that game. So, they have some talented guys that if you let them get moving, they can put up some points. And so for Carolina, they certainly have full eyes on Mike James on the perimeter, understanding that he is shooting the ball extraordinarily well and can really score, particularly if you let him get in a rhythm, which that Tar Heel defense that Tyler was talking about earlier hopes to keep that from occurring this evening.
Yeah, James, top leading scorer for Louisville. And the Cards aren't an extraordinarily deep team, but the guys that Kenny Payne throws out there have a way of producing, and again, it makes a game like this anything but a gimme for Carolina.
Well, and they've had some tough injury luck as well. Dennis Evans, who's a really good, highly recruited freshman for them, 7'1", had the potential to give them some depth in the front court, out for the year with a shoulder issue. J.J. Traynor, a veteran player in the ACC, out for the year with a shoulder issue. They had all the mess you may remember a month or so ago with Karan Davis about was he transferring? Was he not transferring? They sent out an official release saying that he was, and then he said he wasn't, and so a bunch of mess there. And they also had a really talented freshman, Trenton Flowers, who a couple weeks before the season started said he was going to go play pro ball in Australia this year instead of coming to Louisville. So their depth has taken a hit, but the guys that they do play are pretty talented. And this is a pretty young team. It's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores that they're trying to build with, along with a handful of veteran guys. So the talent is there. The cohesiveness has not consistently been there for Louisville. And like we said earlier, Carolina just wants to delay that at least for one more game.
Final note on Louisville, just an odd scheduling quirk. They find themselves playing all 4 Tobacco Road schools in the span of 10 days. State beat Louisville on Saturday. After tonight's game, the Cards face Wake and Winston, and then Duke pays a visit to Louisville on Tuesday. So not an easy stretch, especially considering how good everybody is in our neighborhood this year.
Yeah, the 4 teams in North Carolina might be the 4 best teams in the league, at least right now. Certainly Miami and Clemson, I think, have very good teams as well. But Carolina State, Duke, and Wake Forest have all had terrific seasons to this point. Of course, there was that intense game last night in Raleigh that State was able to come from behind and beat Wake. Duke is off this midweek. They've got their bye this midweek. Won't be in action again until this weekend. But this is a tough stretch. But the ACC is difficult. And, Tyler, I know you've done some stuff on the national level. I understand what the national reputation is for the ACC. I think the league's better than it's getting credit for. It's got to go out there and show it. But I do think it is a more difficult league than maybe people give it credit for.
I would agree with you. Now, the ACC isn't getting the credit it deserves, and a lot of people make the claim that it's a little bit top-heavy. But when you look at the league, you can never take a game off in the ACC. Everyone knows each other, and it is a very difficult league. But also, when I look at the ACC across the board, there are multiple teams that I think could actually win the national championship. And you can't say that in a lot of other conferences. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about the Big 12 and the Big East, but I truly believe that Carolina, we can win the national championship. I think Duke has the talent. They have a lot of pros, and they're kind of coming into the team that a lot of people hype them up to be preseason. And I don't even like to say that, but they could win it.
I knew it pained you to say that.
And they could win it. But also, Wake's playing much better. I'm not saying they're a contender, but NC State's playing much better as well. And Miami's not really having the year that they thought. And also Virginia. Don't forget about Virginia. They're very well coached, and they play good defensive and disciplined basketball, which actually wins in March. So I think the league is much better than the credit it gets naturally.
Virginia up 10 with 10 to play against Virginia Tech. We'll run through the North Carolina Farm Bureau scoreboard a little bit later on, but after this next timeout, Tyler Hansbrough is going to stick around and answer some of your Carolina questions. Jones also begins his 2-part interview with Coach Davis in the Continental Tire Coach's Corner as the Reed's Jewelers pregame show rolls forward from Learfield. Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Reed's Jewelers. The official Reed's Jewelers tip-off time is 9:05. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. That's Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers or Reeds.com. Dave Nathan welcoming you back to the Smith Center. It's Carolina and Louisville tonight. And before we get to the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, let's ask Tyler Hansbrough a couple of your Carolina questions. Tyler, the first one comes from Ronnie Hartman, who wants to know what's the difference in Jalen Withers recently compared to a more mistake-prone version from earlier in the year.
Well, I think it's difficult for a player to kind of come into a brand new team and try to just plug in and play, especially a young guy. But I think Jalen, he's doing different things to impact the game besides trying to score so much. I think defensively he's getting out there and pressuring guys. And, once you can see how you can impact the game from a positive aspect and get the coach's confidence in you, I think then you'll start to get more and more minutes, and then you can start to do the things that you kind of worked on.
Second question from Sean Dale, who wants to know what are the biggest keys to Seth Trimble's improvement into becoming a reliable bench piece?
Well, for me, I think Seth has just done a very good job defensively, and I think he's given this team a defensive lift. Every time he comes in here, he's locking down one of their better perimeter players, and I think that's given him confidence and also confidence in the coaching staff. He's coming in and doing the things that we need him to do, and then gradually you're starting to see him add things like scoring and impacting the game in other ways, and I think that's been huge. And also his spirit has been unbelievable. He's playing as hard as he possibly can, and I think that's been big.
The way you describe him, does he remind you anybody, Tyler, of players that you played with that they fed off their defense and then that enabled them to become a better player on the other end of the floor?
Well, I think it's difficult for, bench players to come in because sometimes you get sporadic minutes, and also, you're trying to find when you're going to get in and kind of get into the flow of the game. I think of just particularly when I think of Marcus Ginyard, when I played with him, there was times that he impacted the game defensively. Now, he was in and out of the starting lineup pretty much our whole 4 years at Carolina, but he was a guy who came in and really made a commitment to play defense, and I think that's what Seth has done, and you've seen it pay off for him.
All right, good stuff from Tyler Hansbrough and a couple of good Carolina questions. Speaking of Carolina questions, Jones has a few for Coach Davis in our first installment of the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. It's brought to you by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. And for a dealer near you, just go to ContinentalTire.com.
Back inside the Continental Tire Coaches Corner as Carolina prepares for its only regular season meeting of the year with Louisville. I'm alongside the head coach of the Tar Heels. That, of course, is Hubert Davis. And, Coach, before we get to tonight, let's look back to Saturday. Gosh, just an incredibly impressive performance from your team in just about every area in that victory over Syracuse. I would imagine it was hard to find much wrong with that one.
Yeah, I thought, first off, I thought we were really good defensively. Syracuse has some guys that can really score, and they do a great job of creating contact and fouling and getting to the free throw line. So I thought we did a really good job defending without fouling, and that allowed us and put us in great position to rebound the basketball. And then, once we're allowed to get out in transition, we're pretty good. And I just felt like our passing, good to great. We had 16 assists. I think we had over 50 points in the paint. So that's something that we had talked about. And just overall, great performance. Our bench outscored them again. And it was a fun game to coach and a fun game to watch.
I've heard you say recently you want to stay hungry or feel starving or something along those lines. When you're coming off a performance like that and when you're now ranked in the top 5 in the nation, how do you try and help your guys keep that edge?
Well, continue to talk to them about it, hold them accountable and get after them in practice, and let them understand the urgency and the focus that you have to have on every day in order to put yourself in a position to be successful. And so I learned it from Coach Smith. It's not about the opponent. It's not about the day. It's about the preparation and the practice. And if you do those things, then your play will take care of itself.
Coach, in this new world of college basketball, you have a guy like Jalen Withers who played multiple years for Louisville and played against Carolina several times, and now will be flipping that role. And it seems like Jalen has embraced his role with your team particularly well here as of late. What do you like from what you've seen from him here in the last couple games?
Yeah, he just consistently is getting better and more comfortable. It's a really big, people talk about the transfer portal, like it's a big deal to go from one program to another. I mean, there's so many factors, not just a team, but new school, new surroundings. So it takes guys time to get comfortable. And I really feel like Jay Witt is at that place. He understands, what he can do out there on the floor and what he brings to us every day on both ends of the floor. It's something that we don't have. The type of length and athleticism that he brings defensively, rebounding, offensive rebounding, running the floor, we just don't have on this team, and he's bringing that to us consistently every day.
Coach, been a difficult year and a half for the Louisville program for sure, but this is a team that won in Coral Gables against Miami a week ago, was in a one-possession game with NC State this past weekend. What have you seen that has the Cardinals playing some better basketball here as of late?
Well, they're a talented basketball team. They've got some players that can very talented on both ends of the floor. They can consistently score in the paint. They've got guys that are really hot in terms of shooting from three-point range. The quickness of their guards in terms of they run a lot of ball screens, so being able to get into the lane, get to the basket, score, create. They do almost as good a job as us as getting to the free throw line. And so, their success against Miami on the road and a close game against NC State team that has only lost one game this conference season, we know that this will be a competitive game and that we're ready for the challenge.
I was going to ask you about that three-point shooting. They have been shooting the ball well here over the last several weeks from behind the arc. What's important as far as your team defensively and running them off the line there from three?
Well, there's two things. One, don't turn the ball over because they love to shoot threes in transition. And so I always tell the team that, transition defense is under our control. If we make shots, take good shots, don't turn the ball over and get to the free throw line, you're never in transition defense. And then in terms of in the half court, it's keeping those guards out of the lane. When they get into the lane, they draw defenders, they kick out the shooters, and that gives you problems. So Mike James, I mean, he's just on fire right now, and we can't give him any open looks. And the way that we have to defend him is the way that we defended Gerard of Clemson and Henson of Pittsburgh. He deserves that type of attention.
Carolina back at home. First time the Heels have had back-to-back home games since late November and early December of 2023. Coach, as always, thank you for your time and best of luck.
And thanks, Jones. I appreciate it.
And that is the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. We've got our keys to the game after we pause 10 seconds for a station ID on the Tar Heel Sports Network. Take your Tar Heels tailgate to the next level with the new Honda. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. Jones, my key for Carolina, stay hungry, play to that same standard you've set over the last 6 games.
I'm going to something Coach Davis just talked about. Tyler, I'm going with that transition defense. Don't give Louisville easy looks from 3 in transition.
I'm going to go with rebounding. You got to close out the possession and control the boards. We've had time struggled with that. Rebounding is going to be a huge key for me.
That is our keys to the game, and that is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. We've got the tip-off for you coming up when we come back between Carolina and Louisville from Learfield.
Just about time for the 27th all-time meeting between Carolina and Louisville, back courtside in the Smith Center. My name's Jones Angel, joined by Tar Heel great Tyler Hansbrough. Excited to be calling the action this evening. Thanks so much for being here with us. Let's get you started with the starting lineups. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light made to chill, an official beer of the Tar Heels. And we will start with the visitors from Louisville. The Cardinals come in 6-10 overall, 1-4 in ACC action. Kenny Payne, member of the 1986 National Championship team, as a player for Louisville in his second year. It's been a tough go for Coach Payne. Just 10 wins compared to 38 losses. That is a winning percentage of about 21%. The starting five for Louisville. In at the backcourt, the well-traveled Sky Clark. He's just a sophomore. He was committed to Kentucky for a long time. Ended up at Illinois, has now transferred to Louisville. He's a good player, averaging better than 14 points per game. The sophomore is originally from Los Angeles, California. He's joined in the backcourt by Hersey Miller, his dad's Master P, the rapper. The 6'3 junior from Los Angeles is only averaging about 1.5 points per game. This will be his third consecutive start, but he's played just 10 combined minutes in the previous 2 games in which he has started. Up front, Mike James. Boy, he has been red hot. The leading scorer for Louisville, 6'5 redshirt sophomore from Orlando. Last 3 games, he's averaging 23 points on 61% shooting, including better than 73% from three-point range. Also up front is Miami transfer Danilo Jovanovic, averaging less than 1 point per game and about 1.5 rebounds. Again, he has started the last 4 games, now 5 in a row, but he's only playing a handful of minutes. He played just 3 minutes last game, even though he started. And the fifth starters, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, Tennessee transfer, really playing well. 6'10 junior from Clarksville, Tennessee, has 4 double-doubles in the last 7 games. Meanwhile, for the Tar Heels, they're 13-3 overall, 5-0 atop the ACC. They are ranked number 4 in the AP poll, 3rd in the coaches poll. Hubert Davis in his 3rd year as the head coach at his alma mater, winning percentage of 70.5%, 62 wins and 26 losses. Heels sticking with the same starting 5. Elliot Cadeau, the 6'1 freshman from West Orange, New Jersey, averaging 7 points and 3.5 assists per game. RJ Davis, the ACC's leading scorer at better than 20 points per game. The senior is from White Plains, New York. Notre Dame transfer Cormac Ryan, 6'5 graduate student, originally from New York, is averaging just about 11 points per contest. Gosh, he was plus 35 on the floor against Syracuse. That means when Cormac Ryan was on the floor, Carolina outscored Syracuse by 35 points this past Saturday. Harrison Ingram, 6'7 junior from Dallas, the Stanford transfer, averaging 13 points and 8 rebounds per game. He's got 48 rebounds in the last 4 games. And Armando Bacot, 6'11 graduate student from Richmond. Armando at 14.5 points and an ACC best, 10.8 rebounds per game. Let's get to the Duncan uniform report. Time to get back to buzzer beaters, blocks, bounce passes, and most of all, Duncan. Welcome back, Tar Heel fans. America runs on Duncan. Heels in the home whites with Carolina blue, numbers, letters, and trim. The Argyle down the side of the jerseys and the shorts. Louisville in road red with white numbers, letters, and trim. A little bit of black around the lettering and numbering as well. 3 officials. Carolina hasn't seen any of these officials this year. Certainly officials they've seen before. Jamie Lucky, Tim Clockerty, Jenna Renew, the 3 officials this evening. It'll be Huntley, Hatfield, and Bacot. Bacot slaps it into the hands of R.J. Davis, and Carolina's going to have the basketball first. As we see it here courtside in the Smith Center, Carolina is going from right to left. Cadeau has it, a couple of screens up high, pushes it left side to R.J. Davis, in the post to Bacot. Back out to Davis, not sure he was expecting it, but makes the catch. He sends the pass to Cadeau, fakes the pass, drives in, kicks it out to Ingram. His 3 is no good from the right wing. Rebound chased down by Huntley Hatfield. Comes Louisville the other way, Tyler.
That was a good possession from Armando, not forcing it inside, kicking it back out. That was a good shot. Harrison usually makes that, just a miss.
Sky Clark on the left side for Louisville. Shot clock down to 13. Left elbow, Huntley Hatfield. One-on-one with Bacot. Now he's going to try and back into him. They collide. Shot clock to 6. Huntley Hatfield scoops it underneath the defense of Bacot. Could not get it to go. Here comes Carolina the other way. Ingram coast to coast, leaves it for Bacot for the big transition flush.
That was a great rim run from Armando, especially going straight up on the defensive possession and not fouling and getting back down the court, sprinting for the easy dunk. Great play from Armando.
So the first basket of the game belongs to Carolina on the Bacot dunk. Sky Clark diagnosis to the left elbow, has to pick up his dribble, sends it out to Jovanovic. He'll try and drive against Cormac Ryan. Spins in, shoots from the left and scores. Jovanovic had only made 3 field goals all year and he gets that one in to tie it at 2. Meanwhile, the Heels quickly the other way. Cormac Ryan can't finish with the quick layup, and then a rebounding foul is called on Harrison Ingram as he was battling with a Cardinal.
It's not a great foul that far from the rim, but I will say, just from the start of this game, this is going to be an up-and-down, fast-paced game. Just kind of old-school basketball, up and down.
Yeah, Carolina's pushed the pace a couple of times already, even after that Louisville make. Cormac Ryan had a transition opportunity, just didn't go. Now the Heels going to pick up some token pressure. Louisville gets it in pretty easily. Heels ease up. Cadeau will stay with Clark as he comes front side. 2-2 the score here early. Not even 2 minutes gone by in the Smith Center. Huntley Hatfield gets the pass in the middle of the paint, kicks it out, and then a turnover as Percy Miller tried to drive the baseline, passing in the middle, and it was taken away. R.J. Davis to Ingram, down low Baycott, really deep in the paint, gets the catch in the hook for 2.
I love it when Armando rim runs and get that deep ceiling position. It doesn't allow the defense to double team. He can just go straight up, and that was a great play from Armando to get that position. It's all from running, too.
He caught it almost underneath the rim and was able to get his body positioned for the easy hook shot. James on the drive against Cadeau, can't finish. Rebound slapped out of the hands of Baycott, back to James, and then Huntley Hatfield able to tip it in after James missed again. So Huntley Hatfield staying active on the glass, earns the tip in, and it's 4-4.
That's what we talked about. You got to finish those possessions with rebounds. It's going to be such an important part. It was really good defense from Cormac right there. Just got to close out with the rebounds.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Ingram goes one-on-one against Jovanovic, spins into the paint and hooks it in for his first basket, so 6-4. Carolina on top by 2. Louisville pitching it around the perimeter, ends up to a corner 3, missed by Jovanovic. Baycott, the uncontested rebound. Here comes Carolina the other way. R.J. Davis to a trailing Baycott, top of the key, pitches it over to Cormac Ryan. Catch and shoot 3, count it from the right sideline.
That was a great shot from Cormac to get in that position, just right in rhythm, just knocks it down. Great shot from him.
Boy, Tyler was right about the pace of this game, quickly moving up and down the floor as it's 9-4. Carolina on top. Louisville now slowing it down in the half court. Huntley Hatfield, top of the key, inside the arc, over to James on the right. Drives to the free throw line, cut off by Cadeau, out to Huntley Hatfield. His 3 is woefully short and bounces out of bounds to Carolina.
You might as well turn the shot clock off for this one. These guys are getting shots up early and quick, and there's a lot of running. I like the pace. This is a fun game to watch.
Early sub for Louisville, Trey White, USC transfer, good player, averaging better than 12 points per game, has checked in for Jovanovic. Heels up 9-4 and with the basketball. Baycott between the circles. Over on the left wing to R.J. Davis. Now on the baseline, passes to Ingram. Backing in against James. Ingram, 1 dribble, 2, goes in the middle of the paint. His hook shot off the mark. Baycott boxed out by Huntley Hatfield. Louisville ends up heading the other way. Sky Clark on the right, stops on the wing in the front court. Crossover, gets deep, and a foul called on Baycott as he had rotated over and bumped Clark on the drive. First foul on Baycott, second on Carolina. So there have only been 2 fouls called in the game, 1 on Ingram and 1 on Baycott. As another sub, Caleb Glenn, a 6'6 freshman from Louisville, will check in. He'll replace Huntley Hatfield, who gave the Cardinals some good minutes early with a couple of rebounds and a bucket. 16:05 to go first half. Heels up early, 9-4. Inbounds goes to James in the paint. He'll send it out for a three-pointer, no good. Missed by, it was White, and then the rebound knocked out of bounds by Louisville. So Carolina's going to have the basketball after the under 16-minute timeout. It has been up and down. Tar Heels 9, Louisville 4, 15:58 to go first half in the Smith Center. Heels with an early 5-point advantage from Learfield. Up and down game so far. Carolina leads Louisville 9-4, and the Heels will have the basketball when action resumes. 15:58 to go first half in the Smith Center. And Carolina basketball brought to you in part by Harris Teeter. For every assist, Harris Teeter's assisting you with groceries this basketball season. Each week, one winner will receive free groceries for every assist. Visit harristeeter.com and look for the Big Four grocery assist page to enter today. Carolina already 3 assists on its 4 made field goals. And we're also brought to you in part by Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Tyler, already 4 points for Baycott, 3 for Ryan, 2 for Ingram. Heels up 9-4 early on.
Yeah, they've got 6 points in the paint. And I think that's, in particular, really important, especially the way that Armando is running the court. I think anytime he gets that deep ceiling position inside the paint where it doesn't allow the defense to collapse and double team him, and he can go straight up and score. I think that's where he's at his best, and especially when he rim runs and gets that dunk that he got. I think it's going to make teams very difficult to guard him when he does when he runs and gets ceiling position like that.
Baycott checks out. Jalen Withers, the former Louisville Cardinal, is in for the first time. Louisville showing some zone press in the backcourt, but Carolina breaks it with just a couple passes, so the Cardinals fall back into their half-court man-to-man. Withers hands off to Cadeau on the perimeter. 9-4 Carolina. Cormac Ryan, clean look for three. That one's good, too. Cormac, 2 for 2 from behind the arc.
That's a great sign for Cormac. He's been a little sporadic, but he's knocked down both those shots. He was wide open. Great three from him.
Heels up 12-4. Another new Cardinal is in. Tyler Johnson, a freshman guard, checks in for the first time, but it's Sky Clark. Boy, nice dribbling to get by Davis, but he can't finish at the rim. Actually hit the bottom of the backboard on his layup attempt. Carolina the other way with a 12-4 lead. Get it in the post on the left block to Ingram.
That was great help side from Jalen, too, to come over there and contest that shot. Good for him.
Ingram out to Davis. Feet set. Count that. Straight on triple. Timeout Louisville.
Louisville didn't like that possession. Wide open shot for the best three-point shooter in the ACC and R.J. Davis. You can't give him wide open looks or you're going to pay.
Yeah, he's shooting now 41%. He's up to 46% in the last 10 games from behind the arc. That was a wide open look straight on, and he knocked it home for his first bucket. So Louisville's taking the timeout at the 15:03 mark. Heels up 15-4. That pass was by Ingram out of the post. He already has 3 assists early in the game. He has 3 of Carolina's 5. And Tyler, he is a good passer for his size. A guy who's listed at 6'7". He can really move the basketball.
He's done everything for this team. And you can tell he's one of those guys that can play about every position on the court. And that's what's been so great about Harrison is you give him, when you play with him, you have different options and different lineups. But also with that quick timeout that Kenny Payne just took right there, you could see it was a point of emphasis to not let RJ get any open looks. And you could tell right away how frustrated he was when RJ was wide open at the top of the key.
So this is now a 13-2 run for Carolina, including scoring the last 11. It is the 11th time in now 17 games that Carolina's had a run of at least 10-0. And they've spurted out to this 11-0 run that has them up 11, 15-4. As the Cardinals working, Seth Trimble has checked in for the first time. He replaces Cadeau. We'll set the 5 for you for Carolina in just a second. Mike James has it on the right sideline. Out to Johnson, the freshman, guarded by Trimble. Tries to drive left of the lane, blocked by Trimble, and Cormac Ryan comes up with the loose ball.
Great defense from Seth, going straight up and not fouling.
And then a foul is called on Tyler Johnson. The freshman guard got a little frustrated, I think, with how things played out, and he fouled Ryan after he came up with the loose ball. Baycott coming back in. Let's see who's going out. It's Ingram. So Carolina will have 5 on the floor of Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, and Baycott. Louisville will try and pick up full court as soon as Carolina gets it in, though. The Cardinals ease up. It's 15-4. Carolina with the lead in the basketball. Davis, short bounce pass to the right wing to Baycott. Up top it goes to Withers, now to Cormac Ryan. Thought about the catch and shoot 3. It wasn't there, so he penetrates, sends it in the corner to Trimble. Back around the perimeter. Carolina works it to Davis. Behind the back dribble into the paint. Kicks it out to Trimble. Open look for 3. It's short. Carolina, boy, did a lot right on that possession. Just didn't get the bucket to go. Really fancy move by R.J. Davis.
That was a great move from R.J. And also, most of our outside three-point shots have come when the ball has gotten inside the paint, which is a great sign. When you get the ball inside and you collapse the defense and make them come inside, you can kick back out for wide open threes. You just happened to miss that one.
Heels 6 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 5 from three-point range. Louisville's 2 of 10, 0 of 3 from 3. Huntley Hatfield, though, changes that. Hard drive left of the lane and is able to score over Baycott. Huntley Hatfield, good player who is playing well here in the last several games for the Cardinals, as R.J. Davis nearly turns it over, is able to chase down the loose ball. 15-6. That bucket by Huntley Hatfield stops the run for Carolina. Baycott, double team comes. He spins away from it and hooks it home on the right baseline.
That is just an unbelievable right-hand hook. Just dribble, crab dribble inside, go right to that right-hand baby hook. Great move from Armando.
That also moves Baycott into 4th all-time in Tar Heel history in points. He just passed the great Lenny Rosenbluth with that bucket. Huntley Hatfield in the post against Baycott. 17-6 the score. Huntley Hatfield can't score with the hook shot on the low right block. Heels on the run after Withers rebound. To Davis, coast to coast to the cup for 2.
And that was set up from Armando. Armando rim ran and got deep ceiling position. There was no help side defense. Great ball push from RJ getting right there for the easy layup.
Smith's in a crowd on its feet appreciating this effort from Carolina, who leads it 19-6. Tyler Johnson, the freshman guard, fall away left of the lane is short. Baycott with the board. Ahead to Trimble. Carolina running again. Heels playing 4-on-5. R.J. Davis had slipped. He's back in the action and gets the ball. Down low to Baycott. Spinning around Huntley Hatfield. Another hook shot for 2 more. 8 points for Baycott. It's 21-6.
Beautiful move from Armando on that right block. Goes one way, jabs, and then comes back to that right-hand hook. Unbelievable position. And also a great run from him. I think he's best when he runs like this.
17-2 run for Carolina. Guarded long 2-pointer knocked in by Trey White. Tough shot from a step inside the 3-point arc at the right wing. 21-8. Carolina by 13. R.J. Davis. Little pocket pass to Baycott. Extra pass to Withers, who scoops it up and in.
Unbelievable pass from Armando. That is when the help side defense comes over and claps. Great duck in from Jalen right under the basket for an easy layup. Great pass.
Jalen Washington has come to the scorer's table for Carolina. Tyler Johnson on the drive. Sends it out to Williams. His 3-pointer is good. That's Curtis Williams, who checked in for Louisville. First 3-pointer for the Cardinals. Makes it 23-11. The freshman from Detroit gets his first bucket. Baycott hands off to R.J. Davis. They left him alone left wing. Bad idea. 3 more.
I tell you what, if you let RJ get open, you're going to give him uncontested looks. You're going to pay for it every single time.
Carolina smoking hot. 11 of 15, 73%, 4 of 6 from 3-point range. Davis and Baycott each have 8. Ryan has 6. James trying to drive on Trimble. Has to send it out to Tyler Johnson. His almost push shot for 3 is no good. Rebound tipped by Baycott into the hands of R.J. Davis. Davis, crossover, pitches in the right corner to Trimble. Back to Davis. Tried to get it down low to Jalen Withers. Tipped away. Nice effort by Louisville to save the loose ball. Cardinals head the other direction. James, blocked by Baycott into the hands of R.J. Davis. Ahead to Trimble. He'll try, falling down. Tried to scoop it up. No good. The ball is loose out at mid-floor to Baycott. Left corner, R.J. for 3. No. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Carolina, and everybody will get a chance to catch their breath. Even when the Tar Heels aren't scoring, it's impressive. With Trimble hanging in the air, got banged to the ground, couldn't finish. Carolina ends up getting a good look out of it anyway, just cannot convert. But wow, what a 9 minutes and 19 seconds. The tempo is fun to watch. Hope you're having fun with us. 26-11. Carolina with the 15-point lead. 10:41 to go. First half in the Smith Center from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Carolina with a 26-11 advantage over Louisville. 10:41 to go in the first half. A reminder, after the game, we'll have our Best in the Game feature. That's brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best. And there's already some good options in this one. Armando Baycott, 8 points, couple of rebounds, 4 of 4 from the floor. R.J. Davis has 8 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. Cormac Ryan, a couple of 3-pointers, which has helped Carolina's cause as well. Tar Heels lead it 26-11 here early on against Louisville. A couple other finals from the 7 o'clock games. Virginia gets a much-needed win over Virginia Tech, 65-57. And how about Florida State? Only loss the Seminoles have in ACC play was here in Chapel Hill. Remember, they led that by double figures in the second half before a big Carolina comeback. They beat Miami in Coral Gables tonight, 84-75. But Tyler, here it is Carolina 26, Louisville 11, and the Heels are running and gunning here so far.
Yeah, they've been off to the races. I mean, it's more like a track meet type of game right now. But, you know, Armando is playing unbelievable tonight. And the play that stands out in my mind is the block that he just had on Louisville's fast break. That was SportsCenter top 10. I mean, he climbed up there, looked like the top of the box to get that block. Unbelievable play, and then he runs back down to the other end of the court. Mondo is playing unbelievable right now. 12
blocks in the last 7 games now for Baycott. He came in 6th in the ACC, averaging just under 2 per contest. He will sit. Carolina's brought in Jalen Washington. Now the Heels doubling up Louisville in the backcourt. They force a tip ball. It's still loose. Goes to Cadeau. 2-on-1 with Withers. He'll leave it for Jalen, and he's fouled as he went up on the right side. Hubert Davis and his staff have done this here recently, mixing in that pressure. They'll do it out of timeouts a lot of times just to give the other team a different look. They forced the turnover, and that's going to earn some free throws for Withers. The foul on Louisville was on Trey White. That is the first foul on White and second on the Cardinals.
Yeah, Coach Davis, that's a great call. He'll sporadically throw that in there, and it really breaks the rhythm offensively for the other team when you kind of hit them with different defenses at different times. It makes it a little unpredictable. I thought that was a great call from him.
Withers sees the free throw pop out. He's an 80% free throw shooter. That one did not stay down, though, so it remains 26-11. Withers will get the second opportunity, which is up and good. So he goes 1 of 2. He has 3 points, and the Tar Heels lead by 16. This matches Carolina's largest lead so far in the ballgame. Again, some more backcourt pressure from Carolina. Louisville still doesn't have it front side. Finally, they do with the long pitch-ahead pass to Curtis Williams. Now the freshman Tyler Johnson back with it. He'll back up near the timeline and try to set up the offense for the visitors. Over to Williams. Touch pass right back to Johnson. Floats it down low in the post, and a foul is called. Caleb Glenn came down with the pass and was bumped. Foul's called on Jalen Washington, his first. Third on Carolina. Ingram and also Paxson Wojcik will check in. Withers and Ryan go out. So the 5 on the floor will be Cadeau, Trimble, Wojcik, Ingram, and Washington for Carolina. Heels lead 27-11 as the inbounds tipped by Jalen Washington into the hands of Elliot Cadeau. Another turnover, the 4th for Louisville. Over to Wojcik. His quick 3 from the left is no good.
I feel like right now we're really pressuring them defensively and getting a lot of turnovers. I think it's been really effective so far.
Quick shot, Tyler, by Louisville is no good. A 3-pointer that went off the back iron. Cadeau heads the other way for Carolina. Now Ingram has it top of the key. He'll hand off to Wojcik on the left wing. Wojcik, low bounce pass in the post, goes to Washington. Fall away on the baseline right, no good. Rebound collected on a bounce by Curtis Williams. He'll still up 16. Louisville with the basketball. Sky Clark around a screen. His runner off the glass won't go. Tip in won't go. Rebound tapped out to Ingram. Hubert Davis telling Cadeau to run. Cadeau angling the other way. Tried to go coast to coast and then pitch it to a cutting Trimble, but the pass a little too high and hot goes out of bounds.
That was a good straight up on last defensive possession from Jalen Washington, who has the length to really contest shots. I thought that was a really good job from him from not fouling that and still affecting his shot with his length. Made him miss it, just makes him a little vulnerable from the rebound, which we got into the possession.
Both teams have had a rough stretch here offensively. Carolina's missed its last 4. Louisville's missed its last 5 with a couple turnovers mixed in there as well. Boy, Huntley Hatfield and Jalen Washington wrestling in the post. Louisville eventually gets it to their big man, who is able to body through Washington for the bucket. Huntley Hatfield with 6 of Louisville's 13. Carolina already has the ball in the post the other way as Ingram's hook shot, went all the way in and then came out. Rebound is saved by Huntley Hatfield. Louisville tries to run the other direction and promptly turns it over as Trey White dribbled it off his foot out of bounds. That is turnover number 5 for the Cardinals. They came in averaging about 12.5 turnovers per game. Carolina forcing 12 per contest.
Yeah, Louisville likes to get out and run, and you can see that tonight. But also their shot selection, they haven't really taken the easiest shots, and I think defensively we've kind of pressured them and forced them into taking tough shots. as you can see, they're trying to slow it down right now with the zone.
Yeah, Louisville going zone for the first time. R.J. Davis immediately gets off the bench and comes to the scores table. Tar Heels bouncing in the middle of the zone to Ingram. Out to Wojcik. Wide open look at three is no good. Jalen Washington had a hand on the rebound, couldn't secure it, but then it goes off a Louisville player's foot out of bounds. So it'll stay with Carolina. Here comes Baycott and Davis back in. Trimble will exit, and Jalen Washington will take a seat as well. So it's Cadeau, Davis, Wojcik, Ingram, and Baycott. Wojcik now 3 of 18 on the season from three-point range. He is a better shooter than that, but, man, it just has not connected for him here in the first half of the year.
It's just a matter of time. Sometimes when you make a few easy layups or find other ways to impact the game, you'll find your rhythm with your shot as well.
Boy, Cadeau gets into the paint, can't finish the twisting layup, and then Ingram's putback won't drop either. Ball knocked out of bounds by Carolina. That was a low shot clock situation. Cadeau got in, kind of showed the ball, pivoted, twisted, took it up with his left hand, could not quite finish. Ingram's tip wouldn't drop either, and then knocked out of bounds. Looked like on the replay here in the Smith Center, perhaps Louisville touched that last, but it'll be off Ingram officially, so it belongs to the Cardinals. The reason for the stoppage of play, Huntley Hatfield's a little shaken up. He was grabbing his ankle. He is up and trying to walk it off. The officials will ask the ball boys to come and wipe up some moisture just to give Huntley Hatfield an extra second to try and gather himself. It's still 27-13. Carolina by 14 with 8:07 to go. Even though the Heels have missed their last 8 shots, have not scored in 2.5 minutes, they still lead it by 14.
Yeah, they've got that big lead, but also they've missed a few that they kind of tipped or could have gone easily the other way. But I think that Huntley Hatfield right here is looking like he's limping a little bit. This is going to be a big injury for Louisville if he goes out.
Tough shot by Trey White. Banks it in from left of the lane. Falling down makes it 27-15. Carolina is led by as many as 16, currently up by 12. Cadeau, front court, picks up his dribble, bounces to Ingram. Extra pass goes to Wojcik in the corner. Pump fake for 3. Drives in, and he's going to get some free throws out of it after this timeout. The foul called is on Caleb Glenn, his first, third on Louisville, and Wojcik, who has taken just 9 free throws this year, made 8 of them, will have a chance for 2 shots when we come back. See if he can stop this scoring drought for Carolina, which has reached nearly 3 minutes. They still lead by 12, 27-15 with 7:33 to go in the first half. Wojcik to the line when we return from Learfield. Seven minutes, 33 seconds to go in the first half. Carolina, despite the fact that the Heels have 1 total point in their last 9 offensive possessions, the Heels still lead by 12, 27-15. Carolina led 27-11. That's been the largest advantage for Carolina of 16, but they've just gone dry. 0 of their last 8 from the floor. As we said, just 1 point in their last 9 possessions. That was after Carolina started red hot. They scored points on 11 of their first 15 possessions. Still up 12, and Wojcik to the line for 2 shots when action resumes. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is the official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics and believes an inclusive community is a healthy community. Here for the Tar Heels, here for all. And Tyler, interesting in Paxton Wojcik, he's just had a tough time getting the ball to go in the basket this year. Had a really good preseason for the Tar Heels, was a starter at the beginning of the year, but just hadn't been able to really find a hold, shooting just 34.5% coming into this game, 3 of 16 from 3 on the year coming in.
Yeah, I've always said that if you're struggling shooting, try to impact the game in other ways, whether it's defensively or just moving without the ball. And, you know, what he's doing right here, and I think this is a huge thing, is he got to the free throw line. And the free throw is the second highest percentage shot in basketball. You can make these and get your confidence, and then you can see yourself kind of get your rhythm from the three-point line and start making some of those easy shots, and then you'll see his confidence go up.
He makes both free throws. The first one swished. The second one bounced around a bit and went in. Wojcik will get a breather as Cormac Ryan rejoins the action. So the Heels have their starting 5. Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, Baycott out there. 7:33 to go in the first half. Heels up now 29-15 after the 2 free throws by Wojcik. His first points of the evening. Sky Clark back in. Talented young guard for Louisville. He hands off to Mike James. out on the perimeter. He pitches over on the left wing to Zan Payne, the son of Kenny Payne. Over to James, who hits the right baseline jumper. Just kind of stared down Cormac Ryan, elevated, and knocked it in. First points for Louisville's leading scorer, Mike James.
That was a tough shot right over Cormac, contested mid-range.
Cadeau drive, tried to leave it for Baycott, and it was taken away by Payne. So here comes Louisville the other way. A little sloppy there from the Heels, their third turnover, as there's going to be a foul in the post on Huntley Hatfield. R.J. Davis had gotten switched onto him, and Huntley Hatfield, using the elbow to clear some room, gets called for the foul.
They may be looking at this one. This is just an old classic mismatch. Huntley Hatfield was yelling for the ball, and he caught R.J. with an elbow. In today's game, I think they're going to take a look and see if there's anything extra, just the way they're calling the game now.
Yeah, Jamie Lucky is indeed going to come over and take a look at it. It is a check of the monitor under the hood, if you will, presented by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. Take your Tar Heel tailgate to the next level with a new Honda. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. So Mr. Lucky and Miss Renew, two of the three officials this evening, will head to the monitor to take a look. 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go first half. Heels still no field goals in nearly 5 minutes, but they lead it by 12, 29-17. Leading scorer for Carolina, Davis and Baycott each with 8. Those two Tar Heels are combined 7 of 8 from the floor. Cormac Ryan has 6 as well. Pacing Louisville is Huntley Hatfield. He has 6 points, also 3 rebounds as well. So, as Tyler said, it was just a mismatch. Davis had gotten switched onto Huntley Hatfield. Big size disparity there. Huntley Hatfield 6'10", 240. RJ listed at 6 feet 180 and was battling to try and get in front of the big man. Huntley Hatfield calling for the ball. Caught Davis in the face with an elbow. I don't think there was any intent there, certainly, but there was very clearly an elbow to the face. So we'll see what Jamie Lucky decides as he continues to take a look.
I think it could be a flagrant one just based off of the way I've seen other games be reffed. But it didn't look intentional. It was just a mismatch where the big man just caught the smaller defender with an elbow in the face. I'll be interested to see the way that they're going to call this one, because by the book, it actually looks like it could be classified as a flagrant one.
Jamie Lucky just asked, do we have anything else, to see if he could get another angle or another view of this. Clock stopped at 6:50. Carolina leading 29-17. I think they said just keep it as a common foul. So it will just be a foul on Huntley Hatfield. So a foul on the Louisville big man. It's his first. Fourth on Louisville. Nobody for either team has more than one foul. Carolina has been called for 3. Baycott, Washington, and Ingram all with 1. For Louisville, Johnson, Huntley Hatfield, Glenn, and White each have a personal foul. Carolina comes out with the same 5. Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott. 5 on the floor. So, Heels trying to get a field goal. Hadn't had one in more than 4.5 minutes. Still lead by 12. The largest lead's been 16. Baycott to Ingram, top of the key. Pitches over to Ryan on the right wing. Down low to Baycott. Ooh, a whistle is blown before Baycott was going to have a clear look at a layup or a dunk. That whistle, though, is a hold on Huntley Hatfield, and that's his second. So the Louisville big man, who's played well, 6 points, 3 rebounds, is going to be subbed in 4 as he picks up 2 fouls in the span of about 15 seconds of game action.
Yeah, he's been a majority of Louisville's offense tonight, so this one's going to really hurt them. And I would expect Carolina to go back to Armando at some point.
How about Cormac Ryan instead, as he lets out a big roar as he strips the net on a long three-pointer. His third.
Cormac's having a big night. He's knocking down wide open threes, and that's just going to make life easier for the inside guys who's going to draw the defense out.
Guarded 2, spins in for Sky Clark. Just never passed it. Dribbled up, elevated from the free throw line, and made it. Boy, a rocket of a pass from Ingram down low to Baycott. In heavy traffic, can't finish. He's asking for the foul, does not get it as Louisville gets the rebound. 32-19 after Ryan's 3 and Clark's 2. Heels by 13. James, boy, is going to get bailed out as Jamie Lucky blows the whistle on Cadeau. James was stumbling into the lane on the right side.
It really looked like Cadeau had his hands up. and it looked like the Louisville's player just lost his footing. Boy, that is a bailout, and that's a tough call. It looked like good defense from Cadeau from my angle.
It'll be first free throws of the game for Louisville's Mike James. First free throws of the game for Louisville, period. 5:57 to go in the half, and James, a good free throw shooter at better than 80%, makes the first. It's 32-20. Carolina led by 16 early, but this long drought has allowed Louisville to hang around. 12-point game with 5:57 to go. James with the second free throw on the way.
And we got to find a way to get back into it offensively, whether that's running or creating stops with our defense. Sometimes your best offense is your defense.
James makes both free throws. He has 4, and Louisville's down 11. Carolina on top 32-21. A little bit of zone look here from the Cardinals. Spread out 1-3-1. Heels get it in the corner right to Ryan. Down low to Baycott. One dribble back to Ryan. Heels work it around the perimeter. Ingram has it on the right wing. Drive, sends it in the corner to Ryan. Shot clock's down to 10. Ryan back to Ingram in the corner right. He's going to back in. Shot clock down to 7. Double team comes. Ingram, long pass to R.J. Davis. Extra pass to Cadeau. His runner is blocked out of bounds. And then the shot clock horn went off.
It looks like there could be some time left on the clock. When they blew their whistle, the clock, to me, didn't look like it stopped. But, we've got to get back to running. This is one of the few possessions where you see the shot clock go all the way down to almost 0. So we'll see if there's time left. Jamie Lucky's going back to the clock.
Yeah, and that was a new look defensively for Louisville. First time they've thrown that 1-3-1 and then sagged back into a 2-3 as the possession continued. Carolina could have taken a couple of threes. Ryan and Ingram both had opportunities. We're trying to get a better look, as I think there's going to be almost a second left on the shot clock. It's not going to be a lot, but it will be enough for Carolina to try and do something. Jamie Lucky says put 0.8 on the shot clock. So Carolina will be inbounding after the block shot out of bounds.
I would look for a tip from Armando, a screen from a little, just get a switch and a tip to Mondo around the rim.
Ryan, the inbounder, tries the lob to Ingram, and it is tipped clear by Louisville. And so it will be the shot clock violation. Louisville's done a nice job here defensively, just staying active. This is an athletic team from Louisville, and they've used that athleticism here defensively to help frustrate Carolina, who is one of its last 10 from the floor.
They've really slowed the pace down, and I think what Carolina needs to do, what we need to do, is find a way to get back into that running game and bring them back out to this, to get back to our pace. I think that's where we're really effective right now.
Carolina up 11 and tip a ball out of bounds. Clark looped around the right side of the court, drove the baseline, tried to pitch it in the left corner, and Cormac Ryan knocked it out of bounds. 17 on the shot clock, 5:12 on the first half game clock. Heels up 32-21, but Louisville's actually outscored the Heels 10-5 after Carolina led by 16. Inbounds, though, stolen by Cadeau, and he goes to the rim and hammers it home. Where'd that come from?
That's a great way to get some scoring. Get out, get a steal, lead the break for a dunk. Great play from Cadeau.
I guess the crowd into it as well. 34-21, Heels up 13. That's a couple times Carolina's forced a turnover on an out-of-bounds underneath throw-in by Louisville.
Sometimes your best offense is your defense. Get out, get a steal, lead the break for an easy dunk from Cadeau. Good possession.
White can't finish, and a late whistle. Foul called on Ingram. Jenna Renew blew the whistle. Hubert Davis trying to talk to Miss Renew. He did not agree with that call, as White is going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
There's not a lot of people in the building that agree with that call, but hey, sometimes that happens. Straight up, you got to play through it and get back to running and not let it affect your play.
Bigger deal is that's the second foul on Ingram with 4:42 to go. Jalen Withers has come to the scores table. He will replace Ingram. Now, Louisville can get to the free throw line, something that they do really well. In fact, they average almost 18 made free throws and 24 attempted free throws per game. Both of those top 30 in the country. Carolina's very good at getting to the line. Heels 7th in the nation in free throws made per game at 19. Second free throw spins out by White, so he goes 1 of 2. 34-22 the score. Carolina collected the defensive board and has it in the half court. R.J. Davis on the left sideline trying to bounce it to Baycott. Nothing there, so he dribbles to the corner. Gets it to Armando. Right back to Davis. Pulls up at the free throw line. It thought about popping out, but then decided to drop in for 2.
It's a great shot from RJ right there, that free throw line jump shot. He's almost automatic from there. Great screen as well.
Sky Clark on the drive and kick out to White, no good. Long rebound chased down by Jalen Withers. He pitches ahead to RJ Davis, to Cadeau, right back to RJ for three. Good, but hang tight. A foul called off the ball in the paint on Louisville's Caleb Glenn.
I think the refs here are discussing whether or not RJ got the ball off before the foul occurred or not.
The officials are going to go ahead and call for the 4-minute media timeout, and they want to again go to the monitor to take a look to see of the timing of the foul call versus Davis's shot. So the foul was called almost underneath the rim on Glenn, his second. Davis stripped the net on a three from about straight away. We'll see if it counts or not, or if Carolina will just be inbounding when we return. 36-22 the score currently. Heels up 14 with 4:07 to go in the first half. Carolina up by double digits in the Smith Center from Learfield. .407 to play first half. Carolina started this game so hot offensively, led by 16 early, still lead by 14, but that offense has cooled off. I never saw an official call from Jamie Luckey, but no points have gone up on the scoreboard for Carolina, so I do believe they've deemed that the foul was whistled before RJ Davis shot the three. So the foul off the ball nullifies Carolina's three-pointer. Heels will be inbounding. The foul was on Caleb Glenn, his second, and sixth on Louisville. So next one will put Carolina in the bonus. Our broadcast presented in part by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, or seeking financing or insurance, Allen Tate can help. Allen Tate Realtors, the #1 realtor in the Carolinas with more than 70 local offices and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. And yes, the announcement was just made to a grumble from the Smith Center crowd that the three-pointer would not count. So Carolina will be inbounding. Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Withers, and Baycott 5 on the floor. Heels up 14. RJ, the inbounder, gets into the corner right to Cadeau. Out to Ryan, who's made 3 3-pointers here in the first half. Holding it waist length, gets it to Davis on the right sideline. To Baycott, back to Ryan. He'll try again. He'll make it again. He is absolutely scorching hot.
Cormac has been on fire, and also that was a great find from Armando, not forcing up a shot and finding Cormac as he comes off the screen and kicking it back out for a wide-open three from Cormac. He's been unbelievable.
Ryan, 4 of 5 from the field, 4 of 4 from three-point range. Mike James can't back in against Ryan. Comes up short on the turnaround. Heels up 17 and on the run. Ryan, crossover at the right wing, picks up his dribble out to Davis. Floats it down low to Baycott. Oh, catch and shoot all in one motion, but he just forced it up there too strong. It was wide open.
He got a little excited. He was that open, that close, and just kind of rushed it a little bit.
So it remains 39-22. Guarded long jump shot good by Curtis Williams. It's a 2. It's some guarded jump shots here.
Their shots have been contested and not easy. They're knocking down some tough ones when they do make it.
RJ Davis fouled on the other side by Sky Clark as Davis tried to dribble from left to right through the top of the key area. Foul on Clark, his first, but 7th on Louisville. So it'll be a 1-and-1 for RJ Davis. Elliot Cadeau is going to check out. Trimble returns. So Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, Baycott, the 5 on the floor. This is a 1-and-1 for Davis with 3:05 to play in the first half. Free throw is good for RJ.
This is almost automatic for RJ. I think he's one of the best free throw shooters in the country.
He comes in leading the ACC and top 10 in the country in free throw percentage. And he coolly hits them both. He's now 64 of 67 on the season. 41-24. Tar Heels match their largest lead of 17. 3 minutes to go. Mike James fumbles the ball in the backcourt, able to get it back. Comes front side to Sky Clark, right back to James. Tried to hand off, not free by Withers as he tried to hand off to White, but Louisville stays with the basketball to Glenn, and he has it ripped away by RJ Davis, who came to double down. Heels on the break. Davis to Trimble, takes hard contact, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Carolina. Boy, Trimble, the last couple games, has taken some huge shots in transition and has not earned any foul. And now they're going to reverse the call and say it belongs to Louisville. So not only no foul, but also Cardinal basketball.
There's a lot of bodies around that one, but also that was great help side defense from RJ to get that steal and lead the break. I mean, that was a tough shot from Trimble. The ball could have gone either way.
Yeah, I think it was touched last by Carolina. I'm surprised that there was no foul call on the play, but as it stands, it will be Louisville basketball. Sky Clark whips a pass left side to White, his three-pointer 90% of the way in, but comes out. Nice play there by Louisville, but did not get rewarded with any points. Heels the other way, up by 17. Davis around a screen on the left wing. Over to Cormac Ryan, middle of the floor. To Baycott, right back to Ryan. He's ready to shoot again. That one's all the way in and comes out. Withers tips the rebound off the backboard, but Louisville chases it down. First miss by Ryan from three-point range in the ballgame. Mike James, hard drive from the corner, floats it up over Baycott, no good. James gets his own rebound, though, and is able to put it back in.
You got to get that rebound to really close it out. I thought that would have been a good defensive possession. But also, Cormac, he was shooting that ball before he even touched it. He was ready. He wanted to heat check.
41-26, Heels by 15. Largest lead has been 17. Davis in the post, bounces to Baycott. The reverse layup, count it, plus he's going to have a chance for three.
Great finish from Armando to finish right through contact and get the and one. Great positioning, and also way to go through and make sure you get the and one.
Yeah, that foul's on Glenn, his third, as the freshman is getting a lesson here from the veteran big man. Baycott drove the left baseline, finished on the right side of the rim, and will go to the free throw line. He's now in double figures with 10. Already 3 Tar Heels, Ryan and Davis each with 12. Baycott has 10. And a free throw to try to make it 11 with 1:38 to go. The lead for Carolina is 17, and now 18 as the free throw drops. It's 44-26. Zayden High will check in for the first time. Carolina, this is an unusual 5. It's Davis, Trimble, Ryan, High, and Withers as the 5 on the floor for Carolina, with the Heels up 18 with about 90 seconds to go in the first half. Sky Clark front side between the circles. Left-handed dribble. He's checked tightly by Trimble. Clark, low crossover, drives in, pitches it over on the right. Wide open three, no good by Williams. Long rebound to Trimble. Carolina, Trimble pitches ahead. Boy, Ryan, clean look at three. That one's short, though. Ryan's missed his last 2 after making his first 4. Louisville tries to push it, taken away by Jalen Withers. Withers, 3-on-1. Goes, he's just going to take care of it himself. Had a couple teammates, didn't need him. He'll go lay it in on the right side.
Jalen really wanted that one. Playing against his old team. Great defense from him. Getting out there, getting that stop, and taking it all away, really pushing the ball.
46-26. Largest lead for Carolina. It's now 20. Cardinals in the half court. White tries to drive on Trimble. Tipped away by Ryan, but White recovers. Backdoor to James. Drives in, taken away by Ryan, but a foul is called with 39.6 to go. 7 on the shot clock. Foul on Ryan, his first. The foul was on the floor. That's the 6th foul on Carolina, so it should not be a free throw for the Cardinals. They will be inbounding, but after a sub, as Jovanovic, who started, will check back in for Glenn, who has 3 fouls.
This is kind of a small lineup for Carolina,
yep,
which I think gives them the ability. They're kind of matching up with Louisville, who's going small right now as well. But with this lineup, you can switch all the ball screens.
Sky Clark just reins in a 3 as he had Cormac Ryan right in his face, but was able to knock it in. Second 3 Louisville's made this half. Carolina's going to take a timeout with 24.8 seconds to go, leading 46-29. Hubert Davis likes to take this use it or lose it timeout to try and set something up for the final possession of the half. Jamie Lucky just came up to give Tyler a fist bump. Do you give him some pointers on a couple calls you didn't agree with there, Tyler?
I didn't have that much time. There would have been a lot of pointers. No, I'm joking. Jamie used to rep when I was in school, too.
Yeah, he's a veteran official. He is lead of this crew with Tim Clockerty, another longtime official. Jen Renew, who does some NBA games as well. I believe Miss Renew's done around, I think it's 7 or 8 games in the NBA this year, and we've started to see her in the mix as well here, in addition to a couple other female referees that have made their way into the rotation at the ACC level here over the last few years. Right now, Carolina's playing at an ACC level for sure, led by as many as 20. They're up by 17 right now. 46-29. with 24.8 seconds to go. Shot clock's off, so Carolina can hold for the final shot. They'll come out with Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, and High, the 5 on the floor.
I think right now you want RJ some type to be a high ball screen right around 8 seconds, because 8 seconds prevents Louisville from getting a rebound, going down and getting a shot, but also gives you the chance to get a rebound and go right back up and score.
Inbounds goes backcourt to Davis. Now he's just tick-tocking the dribble between his right and left hand right in the center jump circle here in the Smith Center. One-on-one with Clark, 8 seconds. That's right when Carolina starts it. Davis goes to the right, crossover, pulls up for 3. A little short, rebound, chased down by Withers, checks the clock, forces up a long jumper, and it's just short as well. So Carolina, a couple of looks on the final possession, but did not get what they wanted ultimately, which was a bucket. However, the Heels do get a big lead at the break. 17 points the advantage. So Carolina led by 22 on Saturday against Syracuse at halftime, leading by 17 here at halftime tonight. 46-29 our score at the break. Dave will take you through the Wells Fargo halftime show after this. Heels up by 17 from Learfield. Heels up 17 going to the second half. That'll wrap up the Wells Fargo halftime show, brought to you by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics. Let's quickly get to our trusted choice of the game, brought to you by Trusted Choice, independent insurance agents of North Carolina. Want you to stay safe behind the wheel. Put down your phone while driving. Let's have a hands-free NC. To learn more and find an agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com/GoHeels. Tyler, what do you think's important here in the second half?
I think they got to get back to running. I think with when the pace they were playing at, the Heels obviously it was working, and I thought Armando was getting deep ceiling position with the rim running he does. So I think we have to get back to running and up the pace.
Meanwhile, an offensive foul called on Louisville's first possession as Mike James lowers his shoulder into Cormac Ryan on the drive. That's the first foul on James, and it will be a turnover to Carolina. That is turnover number 10 for the Cardinals. Carolina with the 17-point lead and the basketball. Quick note on Bacot. He already has 5 assists in this game. That ties a season high, just 2 off his career high. 3 of those 5 assists have resulted in threes. He's working hard in the post, doesn't get the ball, comes out to set a screen for Davis, drives on the right, can't finish. Bacot had his hands on the basketball for a rebound, but knocked out of his hands. Here comes Louisville the other way.
I thought Armando did a really good job in the first half of kicking the ball back outside once he did get it, not forcing it.
Huntley Hatfield on the drive. Bacot had to step up on a driving guard, Clark. That left Huntley Hatfield alone for the dunk. So Louisville gets the first bucket of the half, and it's 46-31. Louisville scored the final 3 points of the first half as well, as Cormac Ryan's pass to Bacot is tipped away and taken away. Here come the Cardinals, and they'll turn it over back to Carolina as Cadeau slaps it away from Clark, and it goes off Clark's knee out of bounds. So Louisville scored the last 5 points in the game. Last 3 of the first half, first 2 here of the second half. Heels have led by as many as 20, currently up by 15, 46-31, but still looking for their first points of the half. Heels going left to right as we see it here courtside in the second half in the Smith Center. Ingram, who didn't play a ton in the first half with those 2 fouls, hands off to Cadeau, top of the key, holding it waist level. Rifles a pass over to Ingram in the corner. Extra pass to Bacot. Hangs in the air but cannot finish on the layup. Bacot has missed a couple easy ones in this game. Long pitch ahead to Huntley Hatfield, tipped away by Ingram. Ball's loose. Louisville chases it down, and they will reset.
Yeah, I think Armando got caught off the guard with that extra defender from Louisville when he got close to the rim, just kind of threw his rhythm off for a shot.
Caleb Glenn hits a runner for the Cardinals, so Louisville back within 17 now at 46-33. Carolina within 13 at 46-33. Carolina with the basketball. Cadeau, bounce pass to Ingram in the corner left. Feet set, three-pointer, cash.
That is a great shot. That corner 3 wide open. Great screen from Harrison. I think that's the reason why he got open. Just a knockdown. That's a high percentage shot. That corner wide open 3. Good shot from Harrison.
Lead back up to 16, 49-33. Mike James run off the three-point line by Cormac Ryan. Heavy contact, no whistle. Players for both teams down, Ingram and James. James is holding his right ankle as Ingram sprints to get into the action. He'll drive in and lay it in with the left hand. James is still on the ground on the other side, and Ingram, after finishing, takes a seat.
I'll tell you what.
I think Ingram got hit in the breadbasket there, and he was down, and then he saw that Carolina could have a man advantage if he ran, so he got up and sprinted down the floor.
It's amazing how you run to the offensive play. And I will tell you, he did get hit in an area that's very sensitive, but he saw how open he could be, and he kind of sucked it up and ran down the court. But the other player, he's injured. I'm not sure what's going on there, but there was a lot of bodies that got banged up on that last possession.
Yeah, it was Mike James who was shaken up for Louisville, so he is up and walking. He is back onto the Louisville bench area. He stayed down that entire offensive sequence for Carolina after the Heels got the stop. And look, there was a lot of contact on that drive for sure, no whistle. 51-33, Carolina's now up 18 after Ingram has scored all 5 of Carolina's second half points. And in fact, James is now going to the scores table. He'll check right back in at the next dead ball. Huntley Hatfield sets a screen for Sky Clark, drives to the free throw line, kicks it on the left wing to White, trying to back in against Cadeau, turns and is able to finish. The net got pulled while the ball was up on the rim, and officials let the action go, so the basket will count. 51-35.
A lot of people wanted the offensive goaltend on that one. I don't know. You could have made a case for it, but it looks like that's what the crowd was yelling about a little bit.
Cadeau misses a 3 badly, so badly that it caroms out to the timeline. He chases it down, gets it to Ingram, but he misses the corner 3.
That was a good look from Ingram there in that corner 3. I like that shot.
Then Cadeau knocks the ball free in the backcourt, dives to the floor, but cannot get possession. Louisville out of there with it. Ends up to Huntley Hatfield. He'll send it in the left corner to White. Good run out by Cormac Ryan. Won't let White shoot it. Now Ryan won't let him drive either. Louisville sends it around the perimeter, ends up in the right corner. No shot available for Glenn. Carolina's defense has been stout. It's just going to have to be a one-on-one move for Clark, and he crosses over and hits the 3. Sometimes you play great D, and the other team still scores.
That was a good defensive possession. Sometimes guys just make tough shots. That was a contested 3. We made him work for it regardless, but that was a great shot from Sky Clark.
51-38. Cadeau tries to wrap a bounce pass down low to Baycott, and it was tipped out of bounds by the Cardinals. So Carolina's going to have the ball with 15:50 to go, 18 on the shot clock. Louisville has started this half 4 of 5 from the floor, including that tough contested 3 to whittle Carolina's 17-point halftime lead down to 13. Heels will have the ball when we come back. 51-38, 15:50 to go with 18 on the shot clock from Learfield. North Carolina Farm Bureau's scoreboard reads 51 for Carolina, 38 for Louisville. 15:50 to play in the second half. That's brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what they do best. Carolina basketball brought to you in part by Modelo, an official beer of the Tar Heels. And it's that time again. Basketball camps are back. Young men who will be in 6th or 7th grade during the 24-25 school year can apply for a scholarship through their local electric cooperative to attend the UNC basketball school this June. You can apply online at ncelectriccooperatives.com/sportscamps. North Carolina's electric cooperatives building a brighter future for people and communities across the Tar Heel state. Some of those Lenovo stats from the second half. Heels just 2 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. Louisville's 4 of 5 shooting this half after shooting 37.5% in the first half. They've also made a 3. Carolina led by 17 at the break. Louisville cut it down to 13. Heels stretched it back to 18. Cardinals have cut it back down to 13. At 51-38, Tyler.
We've got to get back to getting stops, and I think our offense is much more effective when we get stops and we can lead out, get in the breaks, Well, a nice give and go there as Baycott to Davis, right back to the cutting Baycott, and he's fouled driving left of the lane. That foul's on Caleb Glenn, and that's his 4th. The freshman reserve big man, he is the only player on either team in any kind of foul trouble. Huntley Hatfield and Ingram each have 2. Nobody else has more than 1, and then you've got Glenn with 4. And that's going to put Baycott to the line for 2 shots, and the first one's good. Yeah, he's been in some tough positions tonight as well. He's help side when Armando sets that screen and he rolls to the basket, so he's getting there late and getting involved with a lot of contact.
Not a lot of free throws shot in this game. This will be the 9th attempt for Carolina as a team. Baycott makes it. The Heels are 8 of 9. Louisville has only taken 4. They've made 3 of them. So the two teams, 11 of 13 combined. They came in together averaging better than 40 free throws attempted per contest. 53-38, Heels by 15. Curtis Williams, who just checked in for Glenn, has it on the perimeter, ends up with White on the left wing. Driving against Ingram, tried a low bounce pass to Huntley Hatfield, and Ryan is going to be called for the foul, diving for the loose ball. The pass to Huntley Hatfield was tipped, and Carolina was scrapping for the loose ball. And Ryan gets called for the foul. That's twice this year. Once Cadeau got called for a foul at Pitt as Ryan is tying his shoe.
I guess they don't want players to kind of dive kind of under players to protect the offensive player. But I don't know about that one. It looked like the ball was loose. Good hustle play from Cormack. It could have gone easy. I mean, you could have let that play on, or you could have, easily called him with the foul. I kind of like the play on, like a lot of the fans do here tonight. They weren't too happy about that one.
Second foul on Ryan. Louisville having trouble getting it in, and in fact, they have to take a timeout.
Great defensive possession from us. Just locking down, not giving them anything easy.
Louisville has struggled on those underneath out of bounds. Carolina forced a couple of turnovers in the first half, and now Louisville has to take a timeout. That will stretch to a full as the first called timeout of the second half. 15:21 to go now in the Smith Center. Tar Heels up by 15. 53-38 our score from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Now, they are significantly better this year than last year.
I can't even imagine.
I think. 15:21 to go in the second half. Tar Heels 53-38 over Louisville in the Smith Center. And it's a new season at Kohl's. With everyday styles at great prices, you can get more of what you want for less. Find go-tos for going everywhere and perfect picks for your home. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com today. That's KOHLS.com. Also brought to you in part by Food Lion. Proud to sponsor the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game, Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to a local area food bank. Heels currently 8 of 9 at the free throw line. So, Heels led by 17 at the half. It's currently 15 with 15:21 to go. A little bit of a sluggish start here in half number 2, Tyler.
Yeah, I think we've got to get back to running, and I think that starts with our defensive possessions. I think you got to get some stops. You got to keep pressuring Louisville. Even though they've made some difficult shots, especially that Sky Clark 3, sometimes players just make those, but you got to get back to making stops, and everything starts on the defensive end.
No subs for Carolina yet this half. They still have Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. Tar Heels played 10 players in the first half as, Louisville nearly turns it over. Huntley Hatfield took the inbounds and then fumbled the ball. But Louisville retains possession and will try a tough 3, which is good. That's Trey White. And White now up to 10 points, and Louisville back within 12 as Baycott gets it in the front court on the low right block. Double team comes. He'll dribble out of it. Out to Cadeau. Cross court to Ryan. Bounce pass goes left baseline to Ingram. Shot clock at 15. Ingram goes right around his defender, but then has a foul as White tried to block it from behind and hacked Ingram, which will send Harrison to the line for 2 shots. As Seth Trimble comes to the scorer's table for Carolina. Louisville now 5 of 6 shooting this half and 2 of 2 from 3.
Yeah, we've got to get out there and keep contesting them. Even though I feel like both those threes were contested, you just got to keep your hand up and stick to your defensive principles, especially when they're making shots. Ingram
now 1 of his last 7 at the free throw line as that one pops out. Cadeau checking out as Trimble comes in. And Louisville's been shooting the 3 well. Last 3 games, they were nearly 49% as a team from 3. They're 4 of 12 tonight, but 2 of 2 here in this half. Second one from Ingram. That's no good as the Heels can't get the rebound either. So Carolina comes up empty. Louisville has a chance here to cut it to 10 or even 9 with Heels up by 12, 14:45 to go.
Yeah, Louisville's really gotten their rhythm. We got to get back into this, a faster pace. I think once the game has slowed down, I think it's really given a chance for Louisville to get back into it. It looks like they're much more comfortable. And also they're hitting tough shots.
Yeah, Trey White catch and shoot long two. It's a 10-point game. 53-43. Louisville's outscored Carolina 14-7 in this half. Davis, the drive, the kick to Ryan is three, no good from the corner. Trimble, though, the offensive rebound, pushes it back up. It's short. Carolina, no field goals for more than 3 minutes, as now Louisville has the basketball. Carolina just 2 of 8 from the field this half.
When you're not making shots, you got to stick with it. You got to play your defensive principles and still continue to try to impact the game. And you can't give them easy buckets. You can't give them dare shots.
Yeah.
And you got to just, find your rhythm, make some easy shots, don't force anything, and stay with it.
It's an 8-point game because Huntley Hatfield hit a mid-range jumper. Baycott turns it over. Louisville on the run. They can cut this to 6 with a basket as there is contact on the drive. It's going to be a blocking foul called on Cormac Ryan in transition, and that is 3 fouls now on Ryan.
I thought that was a charge. I thought it was a great defensive play from Cormac, but obviously he didn't get it. You need to stay with it. That was a good attempt from him, but maybe things will turn around. I thought it was a good charge.
Louisville on a 7-0 run, all of a sudden within 8. Ingram is going to check out as Withers comes in.
I think Louisville is making an argument that he was in the shooting motion. They want free throw shots right here.
And Carolina trying to argue that Ryan got clipped in the chops there on the contact. Inbounds goes to Huntley Hatfield, and it's going to be a charge as he lowers his shoulder running into Baycott. And maybe sometimes you get a makeup call as Huntley Hatfield now has 3 fouls. That's a big call on the Louisville big man, who has 10 points and 5 rebounds. Cardinals, though, have some momentum on a 7-0 run. They've outscored Carolina 16-7 this half, and they've whittled down what was once a 20-point deficit to just 8 at 53-45 with 13:42 to go.
Yeah, Huntley Hatfield, he really wanted to get that right hand. Just ripped it. Armando happened to be there and got the charge. I mean, sometimes you're just in the right place. You get ran over and you get that charge.
Carolina 2 of 8 this half. Louisville is 7 of 8. Davis on the right wing. Long pass to Withers on the left side. In the corner left to Ryan. Back out middle of the floor to R.J. Davis. Trying to get a screen from Baycott. Circles around. R.J. Tough bounce pass to Withers for the reverse layup.
That's great off-the-ball movement from Withers to really put himself in scoring position. Great movement from him. Easy layup. That's what we need right here to really get us going in the second half.
Back to a 10-point lead at 55-45, and a foul called on R.J. Davis against Tyler Johnson. Davis was trying to recover around a screen. Johnson elevated for a jumper. I'm not sure if it's a 2 or a 3. We were shielded off by Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne talking to Tyler right now.
Kenny wants a 3, and I can't. He might have an argument. His man, what happened is just a classic old school basketball play. Steve Nash did it all the time. He goes around the screen. He stops. He knows the defender's coming back, and then RJ trying to recover. He stops, getting RJ's way, jumps up like he's shooting a 3-point shot, and he's going to get that foul majority of the time. There was a lot of contact, whether it's a 3 or 2. I didn't really have a good view at it.
Yeah, it is 3 free throws. The first one spins out for Tyler Johnson, who is the best free throw shooter on Louisville's team at 83%.
I actually think Kenny Payne's really excited the way his team's come out in the second half, the way he came over and just talked to us. But like I said, Carolina, we've got to find a way to get some easy buckets and get some stops. Once that happens, we'll crawl back into this game and push that, extend that lead even farther out.
So Johnson goes 2 of 3, missed the first, made the second and third, 55-47 with 13 minutes even to go. Again, Carolina led by 20 late in the first half. It's down to 8. R.J. Davis to Trimble on the right sideline. Dribbles into the paint over to Cormac Ryan. Now he penetrates, draws contact, can't finish. Baycott tips it once, twice, no good. Ball loose, hands up to Louisville. Cardinals can cut into this 8-point lead. Mike James going to try a transition look at 3. It's good. And all of a sudden, Louisville is within 5. The Cardinals are 8 of 9 from the floor this half, including 3 of 3 from 3.
And they look like a whole different team in the second half. I would tell you they're sharing the ball. Their confidence is up. We've got to break that rhythm, whether it's change something up defensively or just get some easy stops.
And then a Ill-advised foul by Tyler Johnson, fouling the three-point shooting R.J. Davis. So Davis is going to get 3 shots. The foul on Johnson, his second. 4th on Louisville, but this will be 3 free throws for Davis at the 12:23 mark. Louisville has outscored Carolina 21-9 this half. They're on a 12-2 run. Again, they're 8 of 9 from the floor and 3 of 3 from 3. Meanwhile, Carolina's 3 of 11 shooting this half.
But you got to feel pretty confident with RJ at the free throw line. And also, to one of your points of the game, and also Coach Davis said this, that you got to stay hungry and you got to come out and fight for everything regardless of who you're playing. And I think right now that's what we're working through.
First free throw was good by Davis. Jalen Washington at the scorer's table for Carolina. Second one's good for Davis as well. So Washington will replace Baycott. Glenn returns with 4 fouls. He'll check Huntley Hatfield, who has 3 fouls, out of the contest. 12:23 to go, 57-50. One more free throw for R.J. Davis, which is up and good. So he makes all 3. He has a team-high 15, a game-high 15, in fact. And Carolina's back up by 8 at 58-50. They led by 20 late in the first half. Carolina crowd trying to add some extra juice to the Heels. Tyler Johnson against R.J. Davis to Williams. Trying to get it back to Johnson. The pass poked up in the air by Ryan, but Johnson makes the catch. Tough step back 2 is good. Oh, and now a foul is called on Cormac Ryan. Jenna Renew comes out and calls the 4th foul on Ryan. As Tyler Johnson, it looked like he had kicked out his leg. Woo. So that is 4 fouls on Ryan, and that's going to give Louisville a chance for the 3-point play.
And I would just say that's about as difficult of a shot as anyone has hit tonight. That corner fadeaway mid-range off the dribble, that's a tough shot, whether Cormac fouled him or not. Still, I felt like it was a decent defensive effort from Cormac. Just you can't foul him if he did or not, but still, that was a contested hard shot. But also, that comes from Louisville having their confidence and their rhythm in the second half.
Free throw no good by Johnson. So it remains a 6-point game, 58-52. Louisville is 9 of 10 shooting this half. Jalen Withers, pump fake for 3, drives in, throws it up, no good, but he will have free throws on the way. Tyler Johnson called for the foul. That's his 3rd, 5th on Louisville, and so now it will be 2 shots for Withers after this break. So there have been a lot of fouls called all of a sudden, 4 on Carolina, 5 on Louisville. The Cardinals have made their last 7 shots. They are 9 of 10 from the floor this half. Withers will try and stem the tide at the free throw line when we come back. 11:50 to go. Still a 6-point lead, but Louisville making a push from their field. Louisville is red hot this half. 9 of 10 from the floor. In fact, the Cardinals started this game shooting 5 of 20 from the floor. They are 16 of their last 22 shooting, and that has allowed them to cut what was once a 20-point Tar Heel lead. They've gotten it as low as 5. It is currently 6, 58-52, with Jalen Withers going to the free throw line for 2 shots when action resumes. For more than 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition in Chapel Hill. Handcrafted beer, great food and atmosphere. It's where Tar Heels come to celebrate. And Tyler, you want to give credit here. Louisville has made some, you've said it multiple times, I don't feel like Carolina's just allowing easy looks. Louisville has hit some really tough shots to get back in this game.
No, they have. It looks like almost every shot they've hit has been contested. But I will say that they have their confidence up for making some of those shots. And this second half, Louisville has come out like a different team. You can see their energy's a little up. Their coaches are more, more into it and giving them more advice, and their team is sharing the ball. We've got to break that rhythm and break that confidence somehow, like we did in the first half. And I think it starts with defensive pressure and forcing them to turn the ball over.
So Withers will have 2 free throws with 11:50 to go. The first one is good. He's now 2 of 3 tonight with one more
on the way. Yeah, you can just tell the way Louisville's moving around that they're more confident seeing all these shots go in and getting this back to a competitive ball game. Second free throw rattles out for Withers. So it's 59-52. Carolina by 7. Louisville with the basketball. Sky Clark on the perimeter in the half court. Left-handed dribble, handoff to White. Now to Tyler Johnson, the freshman in the middle of the floor. Holding above his head, floats the pass over to White. One-on-one with R.J. Davis. Shot clock down to 10. White drives in left of the lane. Long pass out to Tyler Johnson. Kicks out his leg on the jumper. This one doesn't go. Rebound to R.J. Davis. Just the second miss of the half for Louisville. Davis to a trailing Ingram. Top of the key to Jalen Washington, who's in. Now to Trimble on the left wing. To Davis, diagnosing left of the lane. Stop, pop, no good. Rebound knocked out by Louisville. It'll belong to Carolina.
That was
11:09 to go.
That was a tough shot from RJ, but luckily Louisville hit the ball out. It looked like Jalen did a little work right there, too, to help that. Almost got the offensive rebound.
Davis, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, and Washington, the 5 on the floor for Carolina. Davis inbounding, bounces to Withers, right of the lane. Withers trying to back in, forgot the basketball, goes back to get it. Long cross-court pass, errant, but Ingram able to save it. Now he can't anymore. Fumbled it out of bounds.
Fumbled the catch and tried to recover, just went out of bounds. Sometimes it's those mistakes that can really haunt you later in games. When there wasn't a lot of pressure, hard pass all the way across court, just fumbled it out.
8th turnover for Carolina, 3rd this half. Each team has 3 turnovers this half. 10:50 to go. Tyler Johnson around the screen, stops at the right elbow, sends it back out to James. Cadeau and Baycott coming to the scorer's table for Carolina. Now it's Sky Clark. Trimble right in his front pocket, really making Clark work. Clark, a really tough follow-away, comes up well short. That was all Trimble's defense. R.J. Davis, long pitch ahead. Harrison Ingram catches it, but too deep. He'll have to circle out and reset the offense for Carolina.
That was about as good a defensive possession I've seen all night from Seth Trimble. Great defensive pressure.
R.J. Davis pulls up behind a screen and drops it home for 3.
Much-needed three-point shot from R.J. in a much-needed time. Really breaks the rhythm. You can see their energy kind of starting to catch up to them. Carolina looks like they're right back to where they started.
It's back to a 10-point lead, and Louisville takes a timeout. Cardinals will have just 1 left for the final 10 minutes and 14 seconds of the ball game. It's back to a 10-point Tar Heel advantage at 62-52. R.J. Davis now with 18 points to lead the scoring. Some other Lenovo stats brought to you by Lenovo, a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. Lenovo.com. Lenovo, smarter technology for all. Baycott, 13 points and 4 rebounds. Cormac Ryan has 4 fouls. He has 12 points, though. 4 made three-pointers, all in the first half. Withers with 8 points, 6 boards. Ingram has 7. Leading Louisville, it's White. He has 12 on 5 of 8 shooting. Huntley Hatfield with 10 points and 5 rebounds. Mike James, 9 points and 5 boards for the Cardinals. So Carolina led by 20 late in the first half. Louisville cut it all the way down to 5. The Tar Heels have now stretched it back out to 10 with Louisville holding the basketball. Cadeau, Davis, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. Pass goes in the post to Huntley Hatfield, trying to bang with Baycott and loses it over the baseline. It'll be a turnover, Tar Heel basketball.
I tell you what, Huntley Hatfield is just putting his head down and just directly going right at the rim whenever he gets it. Just lost the ball right there, but good defense from Armando to force that turnover.
R.J. Davis, by the way, now 212 career threes. He just passed Jeff Lebo, 7th all-time in Tar Heel history. Cadeau on the left wing. Bounce pass in the corner it goes. Inside the arc to Ingram. Ingram now going to back in. Ingram gets deep. His turnaround right-handed hook is too strong. Rebound tipped away by Ingram into Withers' hands. To Cadeau. He'll attack on the angle dribble, and he's fouled hard as he tried to scoop it in under the defense. See who the foul's on. There's some Cardinals that are starting to get in some trouble. That one's on Trey White, just his 2nd. And 6th on Louisville. It will be 2 shots, though, for Cadeau as he was in the act of shooting. Good choice by the freshman. Could have taken that 3, but he has struggled. Just 4 of 19 from three-point range this year. So instead he attacked and is earning a couple free throws.
It's a good attack from him. And also a great effort from Jalen Withers to stay with that offensive rebound and really kick it back out to Cadeau.
You heard Cadeau's free throw short. It was flat
He's just 59.5% on the year. He's been shooting better. 10 of his last 14 coming in, but that one's no good. That one is good as he goes 1 of 2. So 63-52. First point for Cadeau this half. He has 3 total. 9:32 to go in the ball game. Carolina by 11. High weave here for Louisville. They get it high post now to Huntley Hatfield. Back to the basket. Tipped away from White by Cadeau. Withers nearly came up with the loose ball, but Louisville retains possession. Shot clock down to 11. Tyler Johnson drives deep and rejected. Get it out of here, says Baycott. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Louisville will be inbounded.
Great rim protection from Armando to stay with it. The point guard got past him just a little bit. He went up and blocked the shot. Unbelievable play.
Inbounds goes to Sky Clark, out to James, top of the key. Drives left of the lane, blocked again by Baycott, and the rebound slapped out by the Cardinals into the Louisville bench area. Kenny Payne very frustrated with either the lack of a call on Baycott or the decision that is Carolina's basketball, one of the two. Danny Manning, of course, an all-time great college player and an assistant on Louisville staff, comes to try and chill Coach Payne out, make sure he doesn't get a technical. 9 minutes to go. Heels up 11, 63-52. Ingram on the right wing. Baycott working for position. Withers, a fastball to Baycott in the post, and a foul is called. That's on Huntley Hatfield, and that is his 4th. Boy, that would have been, there's some Diamond Heels playing in Boshemer Stadium who would have been impressed by that pass from Withers. The heat on that bad boy is the 7th foul on Louisville this half. So Baycott's going to have a 1-and-1. And now you've got some real foul issues for Louisville in the post as Huntley Hatfield and Glenn each have 4 fouls. Huntley Hatfield will sit down and Glenn returns. 8:53 to go, 63-52. Heels by 11. They've led by as many as 20. Louisville cut it all the way down to 5. This is a 1-and-1 for Baycott. Too strong. Rebound, though, to Baycott. Carolina will reset.
Louisville forgot to box out the shooter right there. Armando just came right. The ball just came right to him at the free throw line. Good grab by him.
R.J. Davis working on the perimeter to Cadeau. Shot clock down to 5 as he finds a cutting. Withers forces it in for 2.
One of the most amazing plays I've seen all night. That was an unbelievably tough shot from Withers. And also, he is playing hard. He knows he's playing against his former team. And you can tell he's playing with that right now. Great possession from him.
Catch and shoot 3 by Clark is good. He hits his 3rd 3 of the night. He has 11 points as he gets it right back down to 10. The Heels had seen the lead swell back to 13. 8:07 to go. Withers back to the basket, left of the lane. Now he faces up, trying to back in. Spins baseline, hangs in the air, gets it to go off the glass. He'll have a chance for 3.
I tell you what, I thought his last play was a tough shot. This one was even tougher. Right through contact, one-handed fadeaway. Unbelievable make from Withers.
Withers has 7 points this half, 12 for the game. That's a season high, so that's his points high as a Tar Heel. It is his 3rd game in double figures as a Tar Heel, including 2nd in a row. The foul was on Glenn. That's his 5th, so he fouls out with 8:02 to go. It is the first time that the freshman top 100 recruit has fouled out this year for Louisville. It's also the 8th, make it 9th team foul on the Cardinals. So Carolina will be in the double bonus the rest of the way. Right now, Withers is just at the line to try and complete the 3-point play. The previous play that Tyler was talking about, Withers went up and under, started from the left. It wasn't quite a dunk just because he couldn't quite get his hand up on the rim, but he just kind of forced it down and threw the rim in the net for 2 through heavy contact, starting on the left and finishing on the right. It was a big-time athletic play by the transfer.
It was one of those plays where he was so high, but he wasn't close enough. He could just throw the ball right through the rim. Unbelievable play. And you can't tell me he didn't have this game circled on his calendar.
Yeah.
You know he wanted to have a big game against his former team.
Well, he's doing it. 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists as he completes the 3-point play to get the lead back to 13 at 68-55. Louisville with the ball. Trey White to Sky Clark. Trimble right there on the catch. Clark drives right to the lane, gets through heavy traffic and lays it in. He was able to bump Trimble off on a screen. Cadeau trying a long pitch ahead to Trimble, and it's tipped out of bounds by Louisville. So Carolina will have the ball. 7:41 to go. 27 on the shot clock when we come back. Clark, by the way, up to 8 points this half and a team-high 13 for the game. Carolina 68, Louisville 57. Tar Heels will have the ball. 7:41 to go when we come back from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
It's been an entertaining ball game in the Smith Center tonight. 68-57 Carolina with 7:41 to go. Tar Heel basketball brought to you in part by the Good Feet store. If you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, Good Feet arch supports are engineered to support all four arches to provide pain relief, balance, and comfort. Try them for yourself. Book your free fitting today at goodfeet.com. Jones Angel, Tyler Hansbrough, Carolina's all-time leading scorer here courtside with, that's Tyler, not me. I'd love to have any points for the Tar Heels. But we're here in the Smith Center. Carolina up 11, 68-57. You've heard from Dave Nathan and Adam Lucas you will hear from Adam in the postgame. Ben Alexander, our chief network engineer. John Essick back in our Tar Heel Sports Network studio. And again, just to get you up to date, Carolina led by 20 late in the first half. Louisville then makes 9 of its first 10 shots here in the second half. Carolina starts cold. That allows the Cardinals to cut the deficit all the way down to 5. The Heels have stretched it back out to as many as 13. And right now an 11-point advantage, 68-57 with 7:41 to go. Tyler's been a fun ball game. Carolina's answered that big push from the Cardinals.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I will say, Louisville has come out in the second half like a different team. I think they've got their confidence from hitting some of their shots. They've made some difficult shots. We've been there on a majority of their shots and contested them. But they have come out and they have played. They're more spirited. You can tell that they're fighting. This has been, when you think of Louisville, you don't think of a team with their record fighting like this. But they've turned it around. They're playing really hard. But we have got some stops. It looks like we're getting back into our rhythm as well in the second half.
R.J. Davis on the bench right now as Carolina finds a cutting Baycott. Ingram found him, and he knew what to do. Two-handed throwdown.
He couldn't have been more wide open. Great drive. Also a great pick and roll from Armando, getting R.J. that wide open, or Cadeau that wide open, allowed Armando to get that open under the rim.
Huntley Hatfield able to answer with a challenged layup on the other side. So 70-59. Carolina briefly led by 13 again. It's down to 11 as Cadeau has it in the half court on the left wing. Now Trimble back to Cadeau. Baycott really working for position. Trimble, a jab step, a drive to the left elbow, backs up. Huntley Hatfield guarding him on a switch. Trimble spins in and traveled as he lost his footing trying to drive on the big man. So Carolina has Cadeau, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. That turnover, the 4th of the half for the Heels, 9th of the ball game. Carolina up 70-59 with 6:45 to go. R.J. Davis has already come off the bench and to the scorer's table. He'll check in next chance.
Yeah, it wasn't a long break for him. We need him out there for the scoring, but also Trimble right there on that possession got a little excited with the mismatch, having a big man on him.
Sky
just kind of forced it a little bit.
Right, Sky Clark, a step back, long jump shot. It is a 3. He has 4 3-pointers made this half, in the game, 3 this half. And Louisville's right back within 8 at 70-62.
Sky Clark is talented. He can hit those shots. He's got his confidence. He's playing well.
As Withers back in the action, got a great pass from Baycott, driving right of the lane, and he's fouled going up. Fouls on Trey White. That's his 4th. And so now you have Glenn fouled out for Louisville. Huntley Hatfield has 4 fouls. White now with 4 fouls. This will be 2 shots for Withers. Meanwhile, Sky Clark has 16 now. He is 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 4 from three-point range for the Cardinals. First free throw for Withers is good, as Davis will check in for Trimble. So it's going to be Cadeau, Davis, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. 71-62 Carolina with 6:11 to go. Second one from Withers, good as well. He has now a season high in points, 15. His career high is 20. He also has a season high tying 7 rebounds.
He's played well tonight. He's also moved really well without the ball and put himself in a good scoring position. He's knocked down his free throws.
Huntley Hatfield faces up against Baycott, has his shot blocked, but a foul is called on Baycott. Just his second, fifth on Carolina. And it will send Huntley Hatfield to the line for 2 shots. We mentioned not a lot of free throws in the first half. The free throws have now swelled up. Carolina's taken 22. 16 of 22 for the game, just under 73%. This will be free throw 9 and 10 for Louisville. Cardinals are 5 of 8 thus far. Huntley Hatfield is 72% shooter at the line, and he knocks in the first. He now has 7 this half and 13 for the game, to go along with 5 rebounds.
Both teams are knocking down their free throws, and it's such a big part of both teams' games. This is crucial for Louisville to get back into this game to try to get some easy ones at the free throw line.
The second one is short. Withers brings in his season-high 8th rebound, so he now has the season-high in points and rebounds, 15 and 8. Ingram on the left wing. Thought about the pass to the cutting Baycott. Didn't do it. Instead sends it to Withers. Faces up. Drives on the baseline left. Gets caught deep. Sends it in the right corner to R.J. Davis. He'll reset with the bounce pass out to Cadeau. Right back to R.J. on the right side. Gets a screen from Baycott. Shot clock down to 4. Davis pulls up for 3. Too strong. Offensive rebound, though, to Ingram. Ingram will attack right of the lane. Hang in the air. Comes up short. Gets his own rebound again. He'll reset it out to Davis. Carolina will set up the half court. 72-63. Ingram with 2 offensive rebounds on this possession.
Big-time rebounds from Ingram.
Carolina up to 11 offensive rebounds in the game. Shot clock down to 5. R.J. Davis on the run. Finds a cutting Withers. Up and under. Can't get the layup to go. Boy, a nice play there, but Carolina couldn't finish. Louisville the other direction. Williams tries to drive on Withers. Cut off there. Leaves it for Huntley Hatfield, and he's fouled again by Baycott. Baycott just swiped down at the Louisville big man. That's the 3rd on Armando, 6th on Carolina.
Armando took a little contact right there. Couldn't resist it. Just stuck his hand out and got him. That was a foul.
Tar Heels without a field goal for the last 2:38. Still lead it by 9, but 2 shots coming for Huntley Hatfield. 72-63 with 4:54 to go. Huntley Hatfield just went 1 of 2 a moment ago at the stripe and misses the first one. Carolina crowd will get excited. If he misses both, they're going to get some free cookies from Crumble. Stations, we owe you an ID break. We'll do it at the next opportunity. Second free throw on the way for Huntley Hatfield. Is no good. Baycott with the rebound. Get your cookies. 72-63. Heels up 9 with the basketball. 4:45 to go in the second half. Cadeau to Baycott. Quickly out of his hands, left wing to R.J. Davis. Trying to find Withers. Back to the basket on the left. Guarded by White. Boy, an impossible pass to Davis. Didn't take the 3. Instead drives in, draws contact, no whistle, but R.J. gets the ball back to Baycott for the easy layup.
That was a tight window that Jalen threw that pass right through 2 defenders' arms, and then he finds it right to Armando. Great position from Armando to get the easy up.
Sky Clark missed his first 3-pointer. That's the first one he's missed in the game. Carolina with the rebound. Tar Heels up 11. Looking for a big basket here. 74-63. Cadeau gets a screen from Withers. He's going to attack right to the lane. Gets to the cup for 2.
Great drive from Cadeau to really get his defender on his left hip. Goes right up for the easy layup once he gets inside. Good move from him.
Lead back to 13 at 76-63. 3:48 to go. Tyler Johnson guarded tightly by Cadeau out on the perimeter. Weaving around a screen. Now a switch has Jalen Withers checking the freshman guard. Now another switch. Cadeau having Johnson drives right of the lane. His acrobatic shot no good. Withers with yet another rebound. He's 1 away from a double-double. Ingram to Cadeau. Carolina on the break. Cadeau, short little bounce pass to Baycott is tipped away. Ball's loose on the ground. Withers able to eventually get possession. Keep his feet. Send it to Ingram. Extra pass to Davis. How about 3? You know it, baby!
Jalen is completely exhausted from that possession. Having multiple defenders dive on the ground, he wanted to stay up so he can go get that easy bucket, but he made a great pass to RJ for that 3.
Louisville has to take a timeout. 79-63. Carolina back by 16 after RJ's 3-pointer. This will be a full timeout, but before we take it, let's break a 10-second break for station ID down the lines on the Tar Heels Sports Network. 79-63, Carolina, 3:08 to go. Louisville will have the basketball. Tar Heels on a 7-0 run here in the Smith Center. Timeouts, Heels have 3, Louisville is out. Tar Heels are in the double bonus that they would shoot 2 free throws on every Louisville foul. Cardinals have seen the Tar Heels whistled for 6, so they would be in the bonus. Possession arrow belongs to Carolina. So Jalen Withers, Louisville career, had 653 points, 455 rebounds, played 81 games, made 64 starts, and he has saved his best performance as a Tar Heel for his old team. He is now at 15 points, a season high, 9 rebounds, a season high. And Tyler, he is just being active in a ton of ways and ended up somehow keeping his feet in some heavy traffic there, and that last sequence ended up in an R.J. Davis three-pointer.
And you could tell he was absolutely exhausted after that possession. He might have needed some oxygen during the timeout. But I will say he's had a great impact on this game, but also he's moved extremely well without the ball and put himself in great position to score and get rebounds and big plays.
He just got another rebound, so a double-double for Withers. Sky Clark missed a driving layup. Withers, his first double-double as a Tar Heel. He did have 2 double-doubles last year as pass knocked out of bounds. Withers was trying to get it to R.J. Davis. So Withers, this is his 3rd career double-double, first as a Tar Heel. 16 on the shot clock, 2:47 on the game clock. Heels up 79-63. They led by as many as 20. Louisville fought back, cut it down to 5. Carolina has it back out to a comfortable 16, although there's still 2:44 to go. And Louisville has shown the ability to score in bunches. They are shooting 62% this half, including 5 of 7 from 3. Cormac Ryan's back in, makes a nice pass to Baycott, who is fouled going up.
Actually, you got to give Louisville a lot of credit. They came out in the second half and really fought. And I've watched Louisville play throughout the year, and that is progress for this team. And the way they started the second half gave themselves a little bit of a chance to stay in this game. But we have weathered the storm, and we've had some guys step up and make big plays too.
The foul was on Tyler Johnson, his 4th. It will result in 2 shots for Baycott at the free throw line. First one is good, so Armando is now 4 of 5 at the stripe. Yeah, this is a Louisville team that lost to Chattanooga in the pre-conference, lost to a bad DePaul team, lost to Arkansas State, lost an exhibition game to Kentucky Wesleyan, who's a D2 school, and they're playing better. Told you, as Baycott did make both free throws. Beat Miami in Coral Gables last week. Very competitive with State this weekend. And they fought hard here tonight as a foul is called on R.J. Davis on the defensive side for the Heels. 2nd on Davis, 7th on Carolina. So it will result in Sky Clark going to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. So, again, Louisville is too proud of a program with 3 national titles to sit there and pat him on the head and say, great job for trying hard. But Kenny Payne trying to get this team moving back in the right direction, and if their effort tonight is any indication, it seems as though they are getting closer as the free throw no good by Clark. Rebound to Cormac Ryan. 81-63, Heels by 18 with 2:18 to go. Ryan, who hit 4 3-pointers to help build that big lead in the first half, but then got saddled with fouls here in the second half. Passes over to R.J. Davis, deep on the right sideline. Carolina milking some clock. Shot clock down to 6. Davis, one-handed pass to Cormac Ryan on the left wing. Dribbles into the corner. Going to have to force up a shot and comes up short against the defense of Huntley Hatfield. And everybody kind of stopped as it is a shot clock violation.
Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to go to the monitor, see how much time is left.
Well, now everybody seems to be okay with it.
We're on the same page. All right.
1:51 to go in an 18-point game. And now Louisville is going to bring in Percy Miller again. Remember, he started, only played a couple minutes, and then
Master P's son, too. That was an interesting stat. I didn't know that.
Zan Payne has checked in as well, the 6-year walk-on, Kentucky transfer. Of course, his dad, Kenny, was a former assistant at Kentucky. That's why he started his career there and is now at Louisville. Carolina going zone as Sky Clark drives in, leaves it for Huntley Hatfield, and tough finish. I tell you, Huntley Hatfield, nice young player. Not a young guy, he's a junior, but he has really started to develop into a quality big man. He's got 15 points, 6 boards, He and Baycott have battled tonight. Baycott has 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Baycott has moved into 4th all-time in scoring in Carolina history. He's also moved into 4th all-time in ACC history in rebounds. We'll tell you more about that in a second. Davis drives, kicks it right corner to Cormac Ryan. He'll penetrate in and push in the little floater with 1:12 to go. 14 points for Ryan. That makes it 83-65. Heels working on the zone again. Ends up in a corner look for 3, though, to Curtis Williams, who knocks in. Louisville has shot really well this half. 15 of 23. That is 65%. 6 of 8 from 3. And that hot shooting has made this a more competitive game, but not going to be enough. Fields up 15 with 46 seconds to go.
They've also hit some pretty tough shots to start the second half as well. They've made a lot of contested shots, but also it's a point in the game where we're trying to milk the clock and run the game down.
As Ingram bangs in a 3 late in the clock. That was from the right side. Ingram has 8 this half and 10 for the game. He becomes the 5th Tar Heel in double figures. So second straight game that the Heels have put 5 in double figures. 86-68, Carolina by 18 with less than 30 seconds to go. Sky Clark gets through the defense, can't finish, but Zan Payne tips it up and in. That's the first point for Zan Payne this season. Makes it 86-70, and Carolina does not have to shoot. Jalen Withers has it. He'll send the pass over to R.J. Davis. Carolina does not need to shoot. Hubert Davis reminds them of that. Davis dribbling out the clock, and that'll do it. Carolina has now won 7 in a row, topping Louisville tonight 86-70. Carolina improves to 14-3 overall, 6-0 in conference play. They remain atop the ACC. A game Louisville team falls to 6-11, 1-5 in conference action. Again, the Cardinals whittled a 20-point deficit all the way down to 5, but Carolina eventually wins it by 16. 86-70 the final in Chapel Hill. Coke postgame report coming up. I'll talk to Coach Davis. We'll get a player. How about Jalen Withers? Might be a good choice tonight. Tyler will give you his thoughts. Dave will get you up to date on stats and scores. A lot more to do as we wrap this one up. Heels win at 86-70 from Learfield.
We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition, presented by Modelo. And it comes after Carolina picks up an 86-70 victory over Louisville in the Smith Center tonight. An odd game. Carolina led by as many as 20 late in the first half. Louisville then makes 9 of its first 10 shots in the second half. Made its first 4 or 5 three-pointers of the second half. Cuts that Carolina advantage all the way down to 5. Then the Tar Heels stretch it back out and win by double digits. So let's talk about it. Plus, you're going to hear from Hubert Davis. Not a very happy Hubert Davis, I would say, after this one. Adam also talked to one of the individuals who played great, Jalen Withers. We'll talk about him in just a minute. Adam, it felt like Carolina came out of the gates like gangbusters, really played well the first 8 or 10 minutes, and then kind of cruised for a little while. And because of that cruise, Louisville was able, thanks to some really hot shooting, get back in the ball game and make this a competitive game in the second half.
It felt like the Tar Heels expected Louisville to curl up kind of like Syracuse did. And then when they didn't, they were like, okay, well, we'll keep going. But, like, we know we're already ahead. And just couldn't quite put them away. But you never felt like, oh, this is getting very dangerous and tense. But never did quite put them away. And that's something that you eventually have got to get good at. So there's room for improvement. And Hubert Davis, for sure, the next couple days is going to talk about Louisville shooting 64% from the field and 75% from 3 in the second half.
Yeah, and that is coming off. I mean, Carolina's played such good defense for the last 6 games and really the first half of this game. I mean, Louisville was 37.5% from the floor in the first half, 2 of 10 from three-point range. So you felt like Carolina was continuing that good defense. And then, Adam, I thought it was interesting. I kind of thought watching the game that Louisville hit some really difficult shots in the first 8 to 10 minutes of the second half to get back in the game. Hubert Davis, both in the interview that folks are going to see here in a second, and then after we were done, I talked to him a little bit more. He felt like it was a much larger issue. He did not feel like his team was crisp defensively.
I'm not sure they were really crisp in any way after like the first 8 or 9 minutes. After that, they were crisp enough. But you're also not going to be able to play to that level for 40 games in a season, this one being against a team who everyone has decided is not good, who you beat last year and has had some issues. So I'm not sure anyone should have ever really expected this to just be a Los Angeles Lakers Showtime performance. It was a win. Are we going to remember it in March and April? Probably not.
And I will say, just before we get to those interviews, credit to Louisville. I do think Louisville is too good of a program to sit there and say, hey, good job for competing hard, Louisville. But this is a team that is better now than it was 2 months ago for sure. They won at Miami last week. Very competitive game with State this past weekend. And this game was, I'll say, more competitive than people thought it might be tonight in the Smith Center. So it does feel like Louisville's making some strides, but still a long way to go. They fought a 6-11 overall and 1-5 in conference play with this loss. The Tar Heels, however, now 14-3 overall and atop the ACC at 6-0. And I had a chance to talk to Coach Davis. Adam talked to Jalen Withers, who we will talk about his great play after you hear those interviews here on the Carolina Insider. 86-70 the final score. Carolina gets the win over Louisville tonight in the Smith Center, and I'm inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner alongside the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. Coach, this was a game you had a big lead early, then Louisville fights back. Your team responds. Your thoughts on what ended up being a 16-point win?
Yeah, one of the things that after the game I told them that I was really proud of them. I said, we've talked at great detail of, how are you going to react and how are you going to respond to things. And so, when they cut the lead to 5, I was really proud of how they reacted and how they responded on both ends of the floor. In the second half, we just weren't playing any defense. There was a time where Louisville they were shooting 90% from the field. I was in the huddle going, guys, it's hard to shoot 90% by yourself in the gym. And I said, what it comes down to is our commitment to the defensive end and getting stops, keeping them off the free throw line and rebounding the basketball. Once we started doing that, then that allowed us to get our lead back up, and we ended up finishing the game.
I was going to ask you about the rebounds. This was a close rebounding game for most of the game, and then you guys end up with a 40-28 advantage. Felt like that was a big part of stretching that lead back out.
It was a huge part. Before the game, I said, we have to win the rebounding game. We have to win the turnover game. We have to win the free throw game. We've got to get to the free throw line more than them, and we got to keep them off the free throw line. And at the end of the day, our one-on-one defense, after we guard their actions, we're going to have to step up and get stops. And so as a coach, you always wish you could have 40 minutes of that, but I felt like in the second part of the second half, we really stepped it up and allowed us to extend the lead and be able to come away with a really hard win against a Louisville team that is much better than what their record says. That there's a talented, well-coached basketball team.
Coach Jalen Withers has been giving you some quality performances here recently, and this his best as a Tar Heel. 15 points, 10 rebounds, a big part of this victory.
He was huge. It's for me, it's always, from my experience, very difficult to play against your former team. There's so many emotions. He spent 4 years there, the relationships, the memories there, and to be able to come out in this situation, we don't win this game without Jay Witt. Defensively, he was terrific. His length, his athleticism, his rebounding. On the offensive end, the way that he cut towards the basket and his ability to finish and step up and make free throws. He was the MVP of our game. He just was terrific on both ends, and he was the guy coming off the bench that really ignited us and gave us a spark.
Coach, tonight, Armando, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He moves into 4th place all-time at Carolina in scoring. He moves into 4th place all-time in rebounding in the ACC history, past Ralph Sampson tonight. Just a really solid performance from somebody who's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, he has, and I really feel like he's been in his groove and at his best over the last 6 games. I thought there was a stretch there where the way defenses were playing him, he was trying to figure it out. And I think over the last 6 or 7 games, this is the Armando that we all have known for the last 4.5 years. I mean, he's just his ability to score around the basket, defensively block and alter shots, and rebound the basketball. We ask a lot of him every day, and he always delivers, and he played really well tonight.
Last thing, Coach, you now go into your first of one of these Saturday, Monday turnarounds, start on the road against BC and then back home against Wake on Monday. So a busy stretch here for your group.
It is, but, I mean, it's been a busy stretch since the first game. I mean, this is our schedule, and at the end of the day, North Carolina's going to show up. And so we can celebrate tonight, and then tomorrow we lock in and keep our eyes focused on our preparation against a really good Boston College team that plays extremely well at home. And so we've got confidence of being able to play well on the road, and that's something that we'll have to do on Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Looking forward to that. That's Carolina's next action this weekend. But for tonight, Carolina wins at 86-70 over Louisville in the Smith Center. Coach, as always, thanks for your time and congratulations.
All right. Thank you very much, Jones.
Alongside Jalen Withers after his first Tar Heel double-double as Carolina beats Louisville 15 points, 10 rebounds, first double-double as a Tar Heel. What'd that feel like?
Man, it felt great. I mean, it's great to get the first one in the books as a Tar Heel, and against the Cardinals, that's really great for me. I think it's really meaningful, not only because my fam was in town and at the game, but it's the first one in the books, and hopefully many more to come.
How many people did you have at the game tonight?
About 9 to 10, I believe.
They got to see a great performance, those 10 rebounds. It feels like here lately, especially on the offensive glass, you've been a big part of Carolina having some big rebounding edges. What have you been doing the last couple weeks to get on the glass more efficiently?
I think just having a mindset of, keeping myself in tune with the game, whether that be on the defensive end or offensive end. I think that, my athleticism is probably the best part of my game. So I think that I got to utilize that whenever I'm out there. And I think that on the playing defense and rebounding are probably the two easiest things for me to do.
What has helped you figure out a way to utilize that athleticism, the way the coaching staff is asking you to, and the way that fits in best with this group?
Sorry, repeat that.
Just it feels like you're using your athleticism even better than you were maybe like a month ago, when it just looks like you know what to do. Yeah. What has helped you figure out what the coaches are asking you to do and what fits best with your teammates?
I would say those practicing game reps. I think that in practice that's been a really big emphasis is, everybody getting to the boards, everybody crashing, and keeping your man in front. And I think that, whenever I come in the games, having that mindset and going into them and getting those game reps have really helped me.
It feels like you're always going towards the basket right now on offense. What's a good shot for Jalen Withers right now?
A dunk or a layup. Easiest ones, right? But, working on expanding that for sure. Get more comfortable out there.
Is this weird? What does it feel like to look to the other sideline and there's the sideline where you were last year? What does that feel like?
At first it was a little weird, seeing everybody else in the red jersey that I knew and me in a different one. It was weird at first, but I think that on the court and throughout the game, I was joking around with people on the bench and in the game and the staff. So I think that kind of eased my nerves as we was going into the game.
But it seems like such a perfect fit now. I mean, it's hard to imagine you being on that sideline. It just looks like you belong as a Tar Heel. And right. You and Elliott and a couple other guys just kind of growing into their role as the season progresses. How has that happened as everyone's kind of figured out, okay, here's the way I can best help this group win?
I think that as the games have gone on and as, we've gotten deep into the season with practice, I think that everybody has pretty much a feel for one another. So I think that, that kind of benefits us in that area.
Louisville shot 64% in the second half. Do you expect to hear about that at practice the next couple of days?
Yeah, for sure. First, I want to say about 6 minutes of the second half, they were shooting about 90%, I want to say. That's what HD had told us in the huddle, and, we kind of took that personally. We made sure that we tightened up on defense.
Tightened up on defense enough to get another ACC win. Jalen Withers, a big part of it with a double-double. Carolina beats Louisville. Jay Witt, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So again, 86-70 the final score. And Adam, you talked to Jalen Withers, and this was very much the Jalen Withers game for the Tar Heels. And he was not the only Tar Heel that played well. Armando Bacot, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. R.J. Davis, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Cormac Ryan hit 4 3-pointers in the first half to help build the big lead. But it felt like Withers and his energy, particularly in the second half, was the difference maker. 15 points, that's a season high. 10 rebounds, that's a season high. First double-double as a Tar Heel, and he was making some big plays in that second half.
Big credit to him, I think, because he's had to play so many different ways during his college career. He played inside for Louisville, he played outside for Louisville, and now he's doing kind of a hybrid here for Carolina. And it feels like in the last couple of weeks he's figured out, hey, this is what they're asking me to do. And he's been good at it. Ton of energy off the bench, really Carolina's best and primary spark off the bench tonight. And the Tar Heels needed that. And he's always active around the rim. It always feels like he has even more rebounds than he got credit for. He was saying when he was looking at the stat sheet, he said, I only really have 2 offensive rebounds. It felt like more than that. And it does, because he's always around there. He's tipping one. He said, I think Harrison stole a couple from me. So we decided that Harrison Ingram is a selfish player who steals offensive rebounds. And I mean, he is turning into exactly what you need off the bench, because what other team has a weapon like that with that kind of athleticism in reserve?
Yeah, that sequence that you just saw, that play where he went up and under and didn't quite like hammer home a dunk, but kind of threw the ball through the rim. That was not many guys can make that play. So an impressive play for sure. I did want to mention Ingram too. Just we were talking about guys who had nice games. 10 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, no turnovers for Harrison Ingram. So he played well as well for Carolina, including hitting a couple 3-pointers. Just a couple notes. Armando Bacot moves into 4th place all time in scoring in Carolina history, past Lenny Rosenbluth this evening. Also moved into 4th place all time in ACC history in rebounds, past the great Ralph Sampson. Where's his home, Adam?
Harrisonburg.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So a great, impressive showing for Armando as well. And kind of sneakily, Carolina rode its horses a little bit tonight, too. Bacot and Davis were both very good in this game. R.J. Davis, 6 of 12 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, 5 of 5 at the free throw line. He was very good as well. So, Carolina, 86-70 winners. Now they go to Boston College. A very solid team. BC coming off a win over Notre Dame on Monday. Have not played since. It's at Boston College, so Carolina will have to travel. And
sold out.
Sold out in BC.
Conti Forum sold out.
Conti Forum will be rocking.
I don't know if that's Boston Carolina Club takeover or if that's BC fired up for basketball, but it sounds like it could be a tough environment.
And then quick turnaround. Heels have to see a good Wake Forest team in Chapel Hill on Monday night as well. So a busy couple days upcoming. But for tonight, Carolina beats Louisville 86-70. Heels still undefeated and atop the ACC. Thanks for joining us on the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition, presented by Modelo.